and I want to say something because nobody was like saying anything.
So quiet forever.
Yeah, which is fine. Sometimes that's how streams are.
Yeah.
And I get it. I've had more than my fair share of them, and I'm actually fine with that. Like when my streams are not like talkative or whatever, I just do whatever, you know. And then at one point I was just like, "Hey, man, I'm lurking," and I know he knows, you know.
Right.
But I it's just me saying something too, you know. I just put we still have games to give away because technically we still do because unless you decide to hoard all those games to yourself, Graham. After all.
At this point, I'm gonna have to like give people blowjobs just to take them.
Jesus Christ!
That's how I feel.
So what's that list of games again? I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't have any emails. I didn't get any tweets from the Twitverse or.
Volts took one, right?
The Twitters. No, I think.
He did it? Or he didn't take any?
I think there's a discussion of interest, possibly.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody was like, I want this, give this to me.
Oh, no, sorry. Volts won the game last time, right? That's what it was, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he won the fucking game. Jeez, man.
Did he pick something?
Yeah, he picked Bayonetta. Like, it wasn't even a question. No hesitation there. He was just like, boom, that.
He's like, gotta bring the sexy lady hair chick.
Yep. But he's still deep in the Dark Souls 3, so, you know.
It's true.
I don't know what that is. But,
he's been tweeting all sorts of pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. That was interesting. He was showing like his different characters throughout the series, and his whole thing was like he uses a
crystal weapon thing, enchantment,
crystal magic.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep. Like that was he got that from. He said some guys called Oro and Peeve, ORO, not ORAL. And it's actually a really funny series on YouTube. I guess we'll start here. B3 GamingCast episode 54. Did I say episode 54 or number? I don't even know. My brain's partly here. We still have video games to give away.
Video games.
So if you want video games, you should probably show up to the podcast or let us know. b3gamingcast@gmail.com. Send us your want for a game. There should be a list. I think there's a list on the site. Let me go take a look. You know, I need to check that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll put up my bot and pull that list.
Hang on, there's a site. What's the URL?
b3gamingcast.com. I tweeted that out, and I think I talked about it as well. Yeah, a little bit of problem with my host.
Just asking for, people that are listening and not,
This is definitely not the list. Fable 3, Gears of War, Ultimate Edition, Halo 5. That's not the list.
No.
I'm looking at this list on the podcast, episode 53, and apparently I didn't put the list of games because I'm a piece of shit. But we will put those games. I know they're in Discord somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good place to look. Oh, but there's so many things that have happened. I'm not scrolling. I'm going to pull up my bot.
Yeah. I spammed the shit out of the Discord as well because I was teaching lessons.
It's true. It was satire.
I will be that asshole.
Yeah.
Things always, nobody ever says anything. Never fear. Janzer, the piece of shit, is here.
It's true. Although,
I will say all of the things that you don't want to for fear of being, slapped for it. Not a problem.
That Frank, though.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm imagining a poop emoji with a cape on.
Oh, jeez. I hate that emoji. It looks like soft serve.
It's so smiley. It does.
I can't find that. I can't find that list.
I don't know about. I don't think there was anything besides my list, but that was my list. I just
That's
put
the
it
one.
Into the Twitch chat.
Well, they're in chat now. Husk, Oklos. Go ahead. Yeah, Project High Rise, Data Hacker, Reboot, but it's edgy. R3B00T. Lovely Planet, Over the Void, Pixel Piracy. It's not edgy. It's
Leet Speak.
Early 2000. Yeah. It's Leet Speak.
Cool guy internet jibber jabber.
Yep. We still have these games to give away. Drop by Twitch, super professional. Shut up. .tv/B3GamingCast. Not cats. There we are.
I got some cool cats in here. All right, just some regular cats then.
Let's see. Oh,
Gotta love that pussy.
oh man. Okay.
Sorry,
Still
pussies.
have-
He said cats.
Anybody have a story you can start off with while I screw with Twitter here?
Do you want a life story or a fictional story? Because I can come up with something.
Yeah. Actually, we haven't talked about what goes on in y'all's weeks. If you want to talk about what happened in your weeks.
Phil, do you have a gist of how to share that?
I could tell it hurt my back in the gym this week. That's about it.
Ah! Damn.
How often do you go to the gym?
Do some front squats.
He's like
recently
almost
probably
daily
like
or something.
three times a week.
There you go.
It used to be like 4 times a week. Every day except for, well, during the work week except for Fridays. Because I'm lazy on Fridays.
Nice. Respect.
Yeah,
He has an
I mean,
excuse.
It's getting better, so
Yeah.
the moment I felt the pain, when you feel any pain, you stop. Anything you're doing, feel some pain, you should stop. You playing Dark Souls 3, you feel pain from a boss wrecking you all the time, take a break. Come back to it later.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like that would be very true for me doing any sort of physical exertion. But with video games, I feel like I just keep making it hurt harder until it doesn't, and I feel good. But I also feel mad because it took me so much effort to get through that. Janser, I feel like you might be like that. Where you're just like,
What's that?
throw yourself at the gauntlet until it falls to you, even if you like end up broken on the other side.
Yeah, I'm pretty much like that. That's why I've hurt my back multiple times throughout my life, and I've heard advice of like, let's say when you're running and you twist your ankle, the best thing is to not just stop, but maybe to keep going. I honestly think that's fucking stupid.
I don't know how true that is.
Yeah,
That
if you
sound
tweak
right.
your ankle, keep running. It's going to be better. I think what they're trying to get at is if it's a muscle-related injury, that keeping it inactive and not letting it stretch is probably one of the worst things to do if it's not something that's like a tear or a rip. The problem is we are not robotic or Android type systems where we can just determine, yes, I see here there is a tear in, no, you're human. Fucking stop and go see a doctor or whatever. Don't self-diagnose, people.
Yeah, one thing I've heard is that if you twist your ankle and stuff like that, don't untie the shoes and take them off right away, because then the swelling is going to just get, bigger.
Yeah.
You should wait till you can actually apply some ice or whatever to it before you take off the shoe.
That's right. Don't take the penis out because it might get too big.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about.
And I play ice when needed.
What was his topic?
The week and Phil working out.
Oh, that's right, Phil.
Yeah. What was your week, Graham?
You were doing squats? Sorry. Go ahead.
That was front squats.
Okay.
Which I don't know what that means. I just know what squats are.
Well, basically
with your
arms?
arms?
You put the bar. You put the bar behind your neck.
Yeah.
And you squat.
Oh, so you
down
squat
and
with the bar?
Yeah, you squat with the bar, but you hold it in front of you.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Oh
behind.
man, that sounds hardcore as fuck.
They're really good.
You should do it with lighter weight.
I feel like even if I did that with a hamburger, that would still make me hurt.
Oh, shut up. If you start hitting weights like with the trainer, Graham, you've got like mass to work with. I don't mean that like you're super fat or anything. I mean, you've got like mass to work with. With me, my limbs are not big. Like my arms are not big. It's harder to put mass on me than it is for me to remove it or to build up. To build up is the big thing. I can't build up very easily. But if you have mass to work with, it's like, oh man, you'd look beast as fuck. Granted, you would probably hate life.
I would hate life.
Oh yeah.
I probably would be happy on the other end of it long
For
term,
a little bit.
but I would be so angry with everybody. I would be like, I don't know.
I look at
hormonal pregnant woman, like all sorts of I would just lash out at people and not know why in the moment.
I just
fuck you, I would fucking kill you.
I look at fitness,
man.
Fitness people's videos of their like daily life and their routine of eating and stuff, and it's like they're measuring this and so
it's horrible.
Can I use and this? And I'm like, no, fuck that.
Yep, no, I've gone through that multiple times in my life. I've done that.
No, I can fully understand that. Like if you have, like you're not supposed to eat a certain amount of this, you gotta lower your cholesterol, so you gotta manage that. When your life is on the line, like if you do this, you eat too much of this, it can kill you. Regular food that people have. Then I can fully understand monitoring that. But just doing it just because you want to have a certain size waist and get your abs this way, that's too over the top for that. Unless it's for life and living and being just naturally just healthier so that you can live longer because you have a condition, then no, cut it out.
I did it because I was doing a lot of running. And also prior to that, I just like being, in pretty damn good shape. I like all that. Like, for example, those like mud run challenges or whatever. That's me. I enjoy that stuff. Like the first time I ever did one of those, I was like, oh my God, what is this love that I've missed? Because it's just hard shit. It's kind of like what you said, Graham. It's like throwing yourself at something. Just your entire body is a weapon.
Yeah, that's how I feel in video games. That is not how I feel in real life.
I do that in real life.
So that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at that shit. I'm like, well, I respect the fact that you are all about that and you're doing that. But I look at that and I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? That seems crazy.
I think you kind of have to be a little bit of a masochist. And I've determined over time that maybe I am. That's the only thing I can think of, because pain is not necessarily like it's bad. No one likes it, right? But it doesn't necessarily deter me.
Maybe you're just a little
somewhat enjoyable sometimes.
You just need a little bit more pain to feel it.
Well, like workout pain, running pain, like you run for like 2 hours and you're just like body is destroyed. You run for 3, 4, whatever it is, and you're just like, oh my God, this is. But later on, you look back at it, it's like, oh man, that felt really great. It's something weird. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a lifetime of that kind of garbage, and so who knows, man? Beats me. Builds a mentality of being punished though, like Dark Souls 3, which, yeah.
Speaking of beats me, I slept for 13 hours one of these evenings this week.
Holy shit. Yeah, you needed it, apparently.
Yeah, it was a weird week. I think also because, and normally I feel like I have more energy when it's overcast and less energy when it's sunny, because I'm a vampire, apparently. But most people are the opposite. Like, they get more energy on, like, sunny days. But this, like, last week has been like a shit ton of rain and like flooding warnings type of like rain and stuff. Right. And I think I actually was affected by that too. But like everybody around me, like everyone was just like extra tired most of this week. But yeah, it was just interesting. And then today is like the most amazing day ever for Cinco de Mayo. I think like everybody is getting wasted outside around me.
Oh, yeah, because it has nothing to do with Cinco de Mayo, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not even remotely in the same month or in the same, like, numeral. People right now are like, what is Cinco de Mayo even for?
Oh, yeah, no, nobody knows.
What does he mean?
Yeah. It's a thing that was just
September
translated.
Something.
No, Cinco de Mayo is correct. There is an actual holiday for Cinco de Mayo in Mexico, for Puebla specifically. It's like a state in Mexico, specifically regionally, that celebrates that. But over time, you know how things are over time. Look at St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day has nothing to fucking do with drinking. But in the United States, like, yeah, get fucking wrecked, bitch!
Yeah, I know, because that's my birthday as well, too. And I see people celebrating it that have no idea what it's about.
Nah, it's just another excuse to get drunk.
All of you take notes. 10 months, then you have a 1 week warning, 1.5 week warning to get Phil a present.
There you
all
go.
Of you listen.
Yep.
Take notes.
Yeah.
You got 10 months. Right. Better be good.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw some tweets about Cinco de Mayo and you know, on both sides, like one side's all blah, 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 and the other side's blah, 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 and I'm like, oh, shut up. things adapt over time, and that's the real nature of things. I think that you shouldn't be one way or the other so hard. Like, you shouldn't be like, we can do what we want because... And on the other side, you shouldn't be like, whoa, guess what? This is our cultural hit. No, things changed. Not even Mexico gave too much of a fuck about it. It's just like one of the states there regionally would celebrate it because it was a big fucking... There you go, Symbiotics talking about it. Yeah, exactly. And, okay, so what it was the French got beat, right? It's basically like the 300. That's what happened there. Okay, the 300. Yeah, they beat the shit out of the French. Didn't matter because the French just steamrolled their ass all the way to the capital, took it over, fucking put a there was a archduke or somebody that put in place like I forgot who it was, some other country, but anyways, they put him in place. And he was actually pretty decent dude. He was like, all right, there's no slavery and shit like that, whatever, because Europe brought over all this slavery stuff and blah, 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 because the indigenous people couldn't handle all the European diseases. So, I mean, everybody did, all I'm saying is everyone did slavery back in the day, okay? Everyone.
It's true.
And then at some point, people were like, look, this shit's kind of fucked up, all right? So let's just stop doing this and whatever. Maximilian is absolutely right. Thank you very much, Symbiotic. But, of course, Mexico was like, we don't really like you because you're not really us, So they did their revolution, whatever, and then, that was September 15th or 16th or whatever. That's
I think 16th sounds right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like both days, but I'm not super into Mexican culture. It just happens to be that I have a lot of Mexican friends, and so it's like my grandpa
also, most
said,
people think you're Mexican, so I mean,
sure,
there's that too. You better know what you're assumedly are.
Well, and to be fair, indigenous of the region, I probably have somewhere in my line way back, I know on my mother's side at least, there's Japanese with some, I think there were Spaniards that were living in Mexico, so they're technically Mexican after a few generations there, what are you going to do, right? That's what you are. You become part of where, it's like the United States. It's like the United States adopting Cinco de Mayo. It's changed. It's not the same thing that it was. And if they want to, by the way, this gets further into, there was in California, there was like a huge contingency of like Mexicans, because remember, California and a big part of like the United States was actually part of Mexico until it got like taken by the United States in that little, Mexican-American war, whatever. Doesn't matter. The important thing is they were actually trying to promote, Cinco de Mayo as kind of like a way to rally people, because during that time there you go. See, that's why he probably knows more. But during that time of the Civil War in the United States, the North actually got their ass beat a lot in the beginning of it. Like, they really were not doing it like a great job at all. And so the Mexican group of people in whatever in California that was then part of America, because they got taken over. They're like, hey, you're Mexican one day, American the next. All right. So that's just how it went for them. They had, on the Mexican side, it was like they had no slavery type stuff. And then when they were Americans, they were like, okay, now we have to have slavery. It's cool. Wait a second. This is not us. This is not what's going on. Anyways, this is really getting it's such a long, convoluted line of garbage. They were like,
I think you just summed up history a little bit.
I'm trying to, yeah. They were like, let's make this, let's rally people around the idea of Cinco de Mayo, because one of the generals to actually beat the South, like one of their generals was Mexican, and I can't remember his name exactly. It actually might have been Santa Anna. I know, the same guy that Alamo. I'm not even kidding. It's weird, right? Like, history's like, wait a second, what? People are, yeah, they actually did a lot of things back then. So they were trying to like help the United States North side, because Lincoln was in office at that time. Because remember, the Mexican-American War was back with Polk, I think. Polk was just like, we got to go manifest destiny and take over the rest of everything, and it's ours, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the important part, going back to that, was that they were like, you know what? Let's actually use the 5th of May to kind of like raise the spirits of the the North, the people in the North or whatever, they're fighting against slavery and all that, because they were getting the ass beat, and people were kind of like, you know what, this is actually maybe not playing out the way we want. They're like, well, here, we're supporting you, and here's a person that, kicked this guy's ass in the South. So that's a cool thing, right? Everybody, let's party and shit, let's get up here and whatever. Anyways, there's a lot more to it than that, but you see, what I'm saying is that the date changed. It went from a state regional celebration to a then Mexican American different kind of feel, like it was intended to help out the United States and the abolishment of slavery and that kind of stuff, and then later on it was changed as well. Like those people that fought in, for the side of Mexico for the United States later on, they actually would go around, parade around, and kind of tell stories and stuff like that. This is way back, early 1900s or whatever. Yeah, I know, B3 HistoryCast. I'm sorry. I just know some stuff sometimes, It's like I told this one guy, I told the Grimner, I was like, my mind really is like a sieve now. Just water just goes right through. Just, a sieve is it's like a bowl. It's like what you drain pasta in or whatever, So just water just drains out. That's how the data goes. It just goes right through. But every once in a while, something catches in there, Like when I put up a picture of him looking like the guy from Alien. God, man, that was such a good picture. Dallas, what was his name? See? Captain Dallas from Alien. The Grimner the other day was playing Elite Dangerous, and he looked just like that. It's so fucking awesome. Yeah. I want to put that link. Yeah. But I'll put that link in there. Anyways, so that's a little bit of history, and it's all chopped up, and I kind of whatever.
That.
Yeah. So
if anyone's listening live, ruining your buzz with knowledge.
Cinco de Mayo. Don't get too worked up over it. At the end of the day, that's really what it is. There's going to be hardcore on one side saying, it's not cultural appropriation. I do whatever I want. Fuck Mexicans every other day of the year, but I get to do this because it's mine. And then there's the other side that are like, well, that's not what it is. We're Latino and whatever and Hispanic, and this is our culture. Yes, that was a long time ago. And shit's changed, and the United States is what it is, and we take a lot of things. Look at Santa Claus. Look at Christmas. We take a lot of things and it kind of warp them and make them our own. That's the United States. It's very, very, very mixed.
It's kind of the American way. I like that, but I don't like this. I'm going to just go ahead and turn it a little bit here, and now it's mine.
Exactly.
It's mine because I'm entitled to making it mine.
Right, yeah.
So suck it.
With St. Patrick's Day, I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but I also don't put a big flag up saying, you shouldn't celebrate it because that's wrong. I just quietly don't do it. It's that thing, like you said, Grandma, but sometimes you support people and other times you say you support people.
Nonsense. Not you. You can't choose to not be part of something. If someone else is doing something, it always hurts you, and you need to either join them or make them stop. There's no letting people be. What is this? What is this
by force?
You either very aggressively attack them.
There you go.
Or you become one of them. There is no let people do their things. What is this? This is bullshit.
You must break them. That's true.
That's right. You have to convince them they're wrong, or you need to help them yell at the other people that are trying to convince them that they're wrong.
Somehow that leads into our first topic. Wait, we can talk about video games? Movies?
Oh, that's what we're here for. All right, yeah.
B3 Drama Cast.
Not quite. I didn't point out any specific tweeters or anything like that. Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Oh my god, I'm going to see that tonight.
You are? Really? Does it come out tonight?
Less than 4 hours.
Sweet. We better wrap up before then.
Yeah, it came out today, or today is the day, whatever. But yeah, Crimsonish, some of you might be familiar with him. He was like, I'm going to go see this next Friday. And I was like, that's fucking cool as hell. And he was like, so do you want to go see it with me? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go see that later tonight.
So if the podcasts keep going, can you just take your phone with you so we can...
Periscope it.
There you go. Just give a play-by-play from the movie theater. And this happened right now in Rocket Raccoon.
Legal things aside, I would never ruin that film through such a shitty medium.
Oh, through a phone.
Yeah, it would just be garbage.
Oh man. So you're gonna get that recording, right? Whether or not we watched it, Phil, you watch it, right? Because you want to like save yourself for it or whatever.
Yeah, I can watch it on Monday.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same
Monday
way. I don't like to watch a lot of trailers, but I do it for the podcast sometimes. And while I was watching that and the Dark Tower, I'm throwing that in there, and the Marvel Defenders trail, all that stuff. I was like, you know what? When are we just going to do away with the 2-hour format? It's really kind of outdated at this point. Can we just get a bunch of fucking trailers and just be done with it? Like, I get the gist of the movie. I don't got time to watch 2 hours worth of a movie, but I can watch like 3 minutes or 5 minutes worth of 5 is kind of long. Let's keep it down to 3. 3-minute trailer, and I'm pretty good. And they could just keep putting out a few of those like over the course of like a few weeks, you know? What do you think? I think that's pretty good. I like this idea.
I think there are some movies that would be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Other movies, maybe not as much.
Like, I feel like I watched Thor Ragnarok already. Like, I honestly feel the same thing with the new Alien movie, Aliens Covenant or whatever. I've seen so many of those trailers. I'm like, I think I'm good. I can fill in the blanks, you know?
When I start to see trailers going to like the 2-minute mark is when because like at first, they always give you like a minute at the most, or a few, or less than a minute. But when they see them start to release like trailers that are like 2 minutes long, that's when they just say, nope, not watching anymore.
Right.
If it's a movie that I want to see.
I usually assume that the first 20 seconds of that is just music and visuals that don't tell me anything. And the last like 20 seconds are like also similarly garbage. So it's usually the minute and a half maybe in the middle. But yeah, I mean, really, if you're doing like a trailer, unless you are, like you were saying, giving like every little bit and piece, so you can basically get literally like the main bullet points of every like chapter in the movie, like on a DVD. They don't need to be that long.
Yeah.
I mean, I get being like a minute long, maybe a little bit more depending, but yeah, there's an extra like 30 seconds of extra detail. Because what they end up doing is they show you literally all of the climactic scenes and like key dialogue scenes. And then when you actually see the movie, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this.
That was neat. Like the Thor Ragnarok thing. Did we all watch the trailer?
I did not.
The first trailer for it, yeah. I haven't seen any other trailers that came out since.
Well, I won't explain exactly what it is, but anybody could watch it themselves since Graham hasn't watched it. But there's that one part where Thor meets up with the Hulk, and that's not a spoiler at all. It's known that Hulk's going to be in the movie.
I think if it's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
even though it could be a spoiler, but because they put it in the trailer, I think it's okay.
Yeah, he says something, and imagine if that part had been not shown, how fucking amazing that would have been in the theater when people blew their minds.
Holy
like,
shit, it's Hulk!
Yep.
Oh!
That was so hilarious or whatever, But we're going to go in there being like, oh yeah, that's that part. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That would have had a much bigger impact if they just kept that for the movie.
And
that would have been a hilarious moment.
I guess the people coming out of it and the hype built after the first set of people watched it would have blown up, I think, like certain parts specifically. So yeah, but we don't have that anymore. We gotta spoil everything for ourselves. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I just try not to watch it.
But was there anything in the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer that grabbed you, or?
No, it was like the one that I linked was like all 3 trailers, and I was like, "Fuck!" I was thinking it was 15 minutes worth of a movie. I was like, "Holy shit!" And that's what gave me the idea. Can I just like get a bunch of trailers and I don't have to watch the movie? I think I'm good. I think that actually might be all right because that was pretty enticing. It's like having a really good snack. It's like, man, that was really good. I don't know if I want to sit down for a full course meal. Most people don't want to have their attention captured for that long. So you got things to do.
One movie or one franchise of movies that I would definitely do that with is Transformers. I could totally watch all Transformers as trailers because that would be perfect. Because those movies are bad. Yeah, but the action is like kick ass and the
just give me the candy.
Really cool. So yeah, that's so there's an explosion. How many explosions in the movie? 10 or 5? Or
right?
Are they all in the trailer? All right, cool. That's all I need.
Just make 5 trailers, you know?
Yeah.
5 2-minute trailers, 10 minutes worth
it's
of
really
movie.
interesting because a lot of trailers do have like big reveals or like cameos that like show up. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, sometimes if that cameo exists and it's pretty much just a cameo, like it's just a really cool moment, then I don't think it should be in there.
No.
But if it's like, oh, here's a character that you didn't expect, but that actually is a huge part of the entire movie, like it happens earlier in the film, I think I might be okay with that, because then you're enticing me to see it because of that character, because the character is part of the movie, like in a key way. But if they're just like a cameo, then you ruin it, because then when you see it, it's not cool.
Right.
Yeah. Or do like what was the name of that movie? I can't remember the name of the movie, but you know, like have Samuel Jackson in the movie and think, oh man, top notch actor, and then
Avengers?
like, you know, like less than a quarter through the movie just gets eaten by a shark. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh,
Blue
that
Sea.
movie.
Yeah, Deep Blue Sea, you know?
That's like the
motherfucking shark
Godzilla.
ate me.
If they had put that clip of him getting eaten by the shark in the trailer, that would have just ruined a big part of that movie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
to me, that was
Nick
like one of the
Fury,
most
bitch.
impactful things.
Oh, sorry. I'll be back. You can't
Snakes
kill
on
him.
this motherfucking plane.
But that was like Bryan Cranston with Godzilla. I honestly, I love Godzilla. I've got a Godzilla that was made the year that I was made. And it goes with me everywhere I go. But I honestly was more hyped about Bryan Cranston being in the Godzilla movie, the American one, than I was about the movie about Godzilla. Because I was like, well, I know he's going to do a good performance, and I don't know that Godzilla is. You know, given the history of the franchise, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to happen, especially the last American Godzilla was, you know. But I like Bryan Cranston, and then they failed. Yeah.
All I gotta say is that I can't shake in my mind you like going to business, going to like out to eat, going to wherever, carrying like a little Godzilla thing with you, because you said you bring it everywhere you go, and you meant like moving and stuff.
Oh,
but
man.
I pictured you like literally like a little kid with a teddy bear, bring it everywhere. Like you walk into like some business meeting, you're just like,
It's
Godzilla on the desk, blah blah blah.
Ready to begin?
It's like a 2 foot tall one, so I don't think that would.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah,
And
take
you're
this
just like
with
carrying
me.
this giant Godzilla.
No, you know what I would do? It's like,
I'm
I'm going to stop this meeting for just a minute. I have to use the bathroom. If anybody else needs to go, you know, that's great. I wouldn't use the bathroom, of course, because it's a business meeting, but whatever. I'd be like, but if anyone wants to stay, I'm going to have my associate here, Godzilla. Everyone knows him from movies. Yeah, he's just going to be, and just put him on the desk right there, right at the end of the fucking conference table. Just like, people like, and he's just looking at him because it's just a toy, you know? They're like, okay, I think we all need to leave now.
I don't know when or if Volts will hear this, but I want a picture of Janzer with a Godzilla.
Oh, God.
This is going to make my day.
Yeah.
Like John's in a suit and tell you.
Yeah.
With like a Godzilla there.
I'll put him in
the
a suit
same
and tie.
outfit as when you did your
I could put Godzilla in
stream
that.
with Shadowrun, your Shadowrun stream outfit.
Yeah.
The shades and everything, and then Godzilla.
You know, as silly as this talk is, it actually can lead into a topic here. Unless you guys want to talk more about movie things, which is totally fine, you know, but we could get back to it too. But just real quick, because it's kind of in relation to it, apparently Smite is going to have a Bob Ross skin in the game.
That's
For which
stupid
character?
and
May 9th?
hilarious.
It's
Pardon?
going to
Which
be
character?
some tree character. I don't know the name of it.
That makes sense with the big bushy hair.
Well, he's going to ride on the tree. And he looks like Bob Ross.
Does he make the tree happier?
No, actually, he does throw paint. I was like, I don't really see Bob Ross being in a video game violent environment, honestly. I'm like, isn't that anti-Bob Ross? Isn't that like taking Mr. Rogers and putting him in an FPS? You know, that's like, what?
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's the internet.
talking about weird things in video games too.
Yeah.
You remember there used to be like a kangaroo in Tekken?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But what do you feel? Do you
apparently
feel
they're
that that's
taken out.
not? Do you not feel that that's? I feel that's not right to put Bob Ross. I want to hear your thoughts on that, Phil.
Honestly,
Do you not give a shit? You don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just outraged about it because I think
put
it
this way.
shits
Bob
on
Ross
the.
Bob Ross is a big thing in the US. He was not that big to me.
Sure.
I can understand that it does not make sense because he was always kind of
Thank
like,
you.
and now we're going to
That's
paint
what
some
I
clouds
wanted.
here. And, what you want to do is you want to apply, that doesn't seem like somebody's going to be in a game, throw a splashing paint on people and murdering the opponents,
Right?
sending them back to their base.
Yeah,
So,
He's about peace and harmony.
unless he kills his opponents with love. That could be the thing. He could paint them to death.
There you go. Yeah, it just didn't seem right. And
It doesn't seem right
the
because
kicker.
it's not like him at all, but it seems very much so the internet.
Yeah.
No, he
Because
could
they have
kill you and say, you know what?
meme-ified him to death.
Mhm.
So
He could
he's
kill the
the thing.
character. Yeah, he could kill the
He's no
character and
longer-
just let them know, you don't want to fight me. It's about peace and love. You want to
He
go
should
back to your
placate
base.
them.
Just
Exactly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. But okay, so what were you saying now?
Oh no, they used to have a kangaroo
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
boxing gloves on that would fight in one of the Tekken games. I don't know what was the history behind the kangaroo being in the game. I think it was just like a little fun thing to do. But like recently, like apparently there's a little bit of backlash from that hilarious video where the guy's dog was being held in a chokehold by a kangaroo in Australia, and he walked up and just punched it. So like a lot of animals rights activists are
PETA.
like saying, and PETA are saying, you're not supposed to hit animals and blah, 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 and kangaroos don't actually box. That's just a myth that but but they kick you hard as fuck though.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Yeah, they don't box. That's if humans put in their own, interpret their inflections onto an animal like they normally do. If you watch enough Disney, you will see that all the time. But
Yeah.
kangaroos can be pretty violent.
Yeah. They're not
And if you
exactly they're considered to be pests from everything I know about people that have talked from Australia about them.
So in the instance with the guy and the kangaroo, no problem. I have no problem with that. It was just hilarious to see the kangaroo's reaction. Like, what the fuck? Did he just punch? But no, to see, they just took it out probably because they were like, you know what? This might cause some kind of backlash. And I think honestly, they were like, this kangaroo doesn't add anything to the game.
Well, that
was
here's the thing. That kangaroo has been in the game before. There's really it's just
And a lot of the previous ones.
It's the guy Harada, the producer. It's more about how Japan is dealing with how the West is pretty much offended by everything that they do. They just said, fine, take it out. For them. Not for us. For them.
Yeah.
Like they're keeping it, but we're not going to get it. And that's just because
so they're keeping it for themselves? I thought they were taking out the game completely just because they just didn't care.
You know what? I don't know that they had even finished the character. Like I don't even think there was a release trailer for it, or there might have been like some gameplay of it. From what I remember hearing about this story, I've already heard about this. Yeah, apparently it wasn't even a big issue for them to just remove them or whatever. But the other thing that I thought was interesting was like, I don't know if this is a mature rated game or not. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
It is. It's
okay.
violent.
So number one, that should be the threshold there. Well, I just mean like if it's actually rated mature, if it is, if it's not.
It's rated mature.
Okay,
It's rated mature because it's
Well, number two, even if it isn't, this is a video game about beating the shit out of another person. All right, or the main guy like he picks up his own son and throws him in a fucking volcano, or and they're gonna get mad.
Volcanoes don't have feelings.
About a kangaroo that's boxing, which in real life, I would never box a kangaroo. I'm pretty sure it would beat the fuck out of me.
It's got more reach for that kick than you got with your punch. I can tell you that.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure I would get broken ribs, face, whatever, So it's just one of those weird, like, I'm going to be outraged on your behalf kind of things. That doesn't make any sense. And if they want to outrage about something, outrage about the violence and about kids playing it versus, like, there's a kangaroo in this video game about people throwing each other into volcanoes and shooting each other with eye beams.
To me What makes it worse to me is that they're keeping the bear in the game that fights.
Oh, that's okay. Because the bear's not going to... I mean, you're not going to beat up a bear.
Apparently, Peter has no issue with them. Peter has no issue with them keeping the bear in the game. I was like, what?
Yeah, because you can't... Because the bear will kick your ass.
Oh, wait, hang on. So a kangaroo can't kick your ass?
Well, I'm saying that they're insane.
you know what Peter's doing right now?
Yeah.
They are misrepresenting kangaroos. And I'm offended by that.
Oh, there you go.
You should go back in.
They're saying they're harmless beings and can't defend themselves.
Yeah.
I got it.
All I know is you guys have played Bulletstorm or seen the game played, right?
Bulletstorm. I know a little bit about it. Yes.
Well, you know how in at least the multiplayer mode or whatever, there's like an announcer guy?
No.
You have to tell me. I don't know about the multi. I've only seen like some.
Well, think like Unreal Tournament then. You know how there's like an announcer for that?
Double kill.
There.
Yeah.
Something similar to that.
Yeah.
I, for whatever reason, off and on for the last like few minutes, have been picturing Bob Ross being an announcer in a game like that, where it's just like really intense.
But
ultra kill.
Would he be that? Oh no, a bad thing just happened. We're just gonna paint over that over here.
Yeah, right. See, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great?
Only if
like this, like people getting ripped in half and like blood everywhere, and then he's just like, "Let's just paint over
a voice pack."
Okay, all right. Let's make this a happy push. Wouldn't that be kind of awesome in its weird, like jarring way?
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, that's really violent. He got ripped in half. But
yeah,
the luscious red, it brings a strong hue. Reminds me of a painting of.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I kind of feel like I want this to be a thing, and I want to throw money at it.
There you go. We just need to change that red up a little bit. We're gonna just add a little bit of this, tint to it.
Yeah. We're gonna add some yellow and make this into a nice sunset, right?
There we are. One of y'all brought up something, and stop me, like always, I'm going to keep saying it until you do it, if you're not ready to move on. But somebody brought up something about a Twitch streamer that was streaming himself, the IRL thing at an airport.
Ice Poseidon, yeah, he got banned from Twitch because during an IRL stream where he was boarding a plane and being on a plane, he got swatted.
Yeah. No, before you go any further, explain what IRL stream actually, what it means.
In real life. So basically, the in real life thing, I don't remember how long. It feels like it was just the other day, but it's probably longer than that. It could be up to like a year ago. I don't remember. But Twitch started to allow that. And it's basically, there's a whole bunch of like descriptions. If you look up like the FAQ, they explain like the parameters, which I don't have memorized because I've never done it. But it's basically for people to talk about like their lives on, it's like a vlog, basically. It's a vlog thing. That's the content, vlogging. Like we're doing a gaming talk show is our content.
Right. Yeah.
Most specific games and to be with creative things. In real life, it's basically vlogging. Or
I would hope
I'm
that
talking to the camera.
Listening to this would know what that is, Yeah.
But yeah, so, and apparently he was the single most highest viewed in that genre, and it was competitive with like other things. So I guess he was like a big thing in terms of the IRL streams. But he has had a history of people calling the cops on him during IRL streams. So I think it was probably enough is enough, especially the fact that it happened such a big place like an airport.
Yeah.
And a big part of the issue, Phil, you can add to this because you read more about it, but he was very openly like, I am here boarding this thing at this place. And he was giving out all those details instead of being like, I am at an airport somewhere, and intentionally trying to like make it not known where he was, especially considering he's had a history of people doing things like this to him. So.
Right.
Yeah. He apparently let him know like the gate that he was at and all kinds of stuff. So the person basically figured out what flight he was going on, because you could just go and look that stuff up online. This is my flight.
Right.
What gate? I'm going to gate, whatever, and you can just pretty much easily figure out what flight's leaving where, what gate you're going to, and you could just call us what do you call it, a SWAT. You can
Yeah.
SWAT somebody easily with that kind of
Yeah.
stupidness, and people don't need much of a reason to do stupid things.
Yeah,
So
clearly.
you keep giving them information. And I saw some other people talking about this that, you know, stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
And they said that they did similar things in the past where they were like, they saw something and it was like a funny moment and they mentioned it and took a picture and they realized that they were giving information. So they actually found somebody at the airport where they were arriving, waiting for them with a sign.
Uh-huh.
And they had to let them know, you know, it's nice and all, but, you know, it's a little bit creepy.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fucked up.
you know,
Oh, yeah, I've always thought that
yeah.
stuff's so fucking weird. Yeah.
So, like, if you're gonna do that IRL stuff, I think you need to do is like never disclose where you are. Keep a very close, tight shot. I mean, even with that is a bit iffy too, because another person that was a Twitch streamer as well took a photo and of, you know, how people do, and they post it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So they took a picture of their food, and it had a particular tablecloth. And one person that used to frequent that particular restaurant that had that one type of tablecloth, so it was like, oh, "You're at my favorite place. Are you there now? Can I come see you?" And they were like, "Whoa, okay, we should leave." So it's like, I think if you're gonna do some of those things, if you're gonna post them online, obviously not streaming, but if you can post them online, post them after you've left the place,
right?
If you really want to do that stuff, so that, you know, it's along after the fact. So or
if you are totally okay with that, or if you are just aware that that shit can happen, then go ahead.
Well, I don't even think that you should be okay with it, because there are going to be people that are going to overstep the boundaries that
there are some crazy people who love all sorts of crazy attention, good and bad.
Yep.
And some of those people might like to get swatted, apparently.
Yeah.
And as open-minded as you are, you got to be careful with that stuff. I think this guy was being stupid, because me personally, if I did that and I made a mistake, I gave too much information and I got spotted in the past, I would be so secure and limited with the amount of information I give if I do any of those IRL things. But he was like very open, so I don't blame Twitch for saying, you know what, dude,
how many
you're
times
too careless.
has he had this happen to him?
I think this is the second time.
I want to say it's the second time he's been swatted, but I know that he's had the cops called on him during streams at least 2 to 3 times.
Yep.
So you know what goes through my head is like he wants it to happen.
Yeah, that's what I read into it.
Exactly.
He was probably literally asking for it, because think about it this way: there's the whole mantra of, you know, any PR is good PR or whatever, you know, exposure, whatever. And for him, there's all these people, oh my god, this guy got swatted, it was amazing, it's so hilarious, then he's gonna pull in more people. And so I think he just kept doing it, and then my guess is, I can't speak for Twitch, but they probably were thinking, all right, well, clearly this guy is just going to continue to escalate, and this is going to get way out of hand. So we just don't want to be associated with this shit at all, because this is just crazy.
Right, but the first initial thing based on the article is Twitch looks like the bad guy, you know?
Yeah,
they shut it down. So it goes back to that whole thing. Nothing matters historically, because we're in the age right now of if something is stated,
him and he's the victim. Bullshit.
Well, if something is stated in a tweet, it's a fact. There is no looking up any information past the initial statement. It takes somebody later on, maybe that's just a contrarian, which is kind of horrible to even just be contrary for no reason. That's not a great state of being to be in, but you know, that it could just be a contrarian that's like, well, I don't think that's true, I'm going to look this up. Thank you for actually looking it up, but I hate the fact that you're such an asshole about it, because you know, I wish you were doing it for the right reason, not just because you're a piece of shit that wants to like be contrary to everything, you know. But yeah, that's just the age we live in. It's just nobody cares to, you know, once the initial hit is done, it's done. So no amount of like making up for it with retractions, redactions, whatever you want to call it later on matters. People only remember the initial thing. So
yep, it's true. It's kind of similar, like, well, a similar thing happened with like Praey, the game Praey that came out this week. and there was a small like indie company that had a game called Praey For The Gods, and they went after them, saying, hey, look, you can't use Praey, we got this trademark. And people were like, oh man, what the hell, these big companies keep taking trying to take all these small people, whatever. And
it's the same company, right?
No, it's not the same company, because it's just a small
would they belong to the same publisher or something? I know they were linked somehow.
They're not the same.
I read that article. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't say anything about them being linked, but the whole issue though was that them saying that they have to trademark things to protect themselves from people just using their names willy-nilly and are trying to capitalize on the success that they might have from their game by using a word or words that are very similar, so they can grab some of that audience. And the problem that, one of the people that I think it was Bethesda or something had to step up and say,
yeah, Bethesda,
this is something that we have to do legally. If not, we lose the trademark. So it's like, if you're not aggressive with your trademark, you lose it. You have to actually go after people, or you lose the rights to your trademark if you don't do it. That's how trademarks actually work. Now, people don't really understand that if you trademark something and you just leave it, and then somebody uses it, and your time runs out. You have a set amount of time before you can try to protect this. And if you don't do it, it's just like, Sony making Marvel movies with Spider-Man. If they don't make a Spider-Man movie within a certain amount of time, the rights go back to Marvel. So if you trademark something and you don't make any act to protect it at any point in time between the amount of years that you have it trademarked, you actually lose it. Yeah. So they said, look, that's just something that we have to do legally. So it's like, it's not like we trying to force people to not make games. It's like, we got to protect our trademark. And people don't understand that that's like the legal process and what you got to do. They just see, oh, they went after a small company. So you kind of got read a little bit deeper into things, which most people don't do, because like a lot of people don't like to even scroll through news sites. They just read the first part of the news site and then of the article, and then they're done. But if you actually scroll and read things, you actually understand more about the process.
Well, yeah, that's why I hate like Kotaku or any of the, not any, but like a lot of the large ones, large news outlets, so to speak, for gaming news outlets, because their titles alone are like, okay, we didn't really mean that title, but you're reading now, so let's explain. I'm like, fuck you. Mm-hmm. That's the least of the infractions that they do. The more, the worst is when they actually try to build a story around some kind of like weird title that they created just to get headlines, So, yeah. I thought that company was clearly it wasn't. I just looked it up myself. That's kind of crazy. And here's the thing. Like, I would rather I'd rather find out that I was wrong than try to, like, force my correctness. Like, well, they were at some, like when people try to, like, find some kind of way to be correct about something. It's like, shit, you were fucking wrong. It's fine. Yep. There's plenty of times to be right later on. You're wrong. That's all. And when people can't admit to that, it's like, all right, well, maybe, I don't know. I want to talk to you or anything. You're a weird person. I can't deal with that. But no, I read about that. That was the same issue with Cyberpunk 2077. There you go. Like the same issue they had.
The same guy from Bethesda said that good luck to CD Projekt Red, because like if they don't do it, it's like, if you don't do something, you're gonna lose it. So they're gonna have to do something that people can think, oh, what are you doing? Why are you attacking this person? It's like, no, you're just protecting your trademark. Something you have to do. So
yeah.
So he told them good luck with that, because they were saying how peaceful they're gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was another thing that y'all had brought up? Somebody told me. Oh wait, wasn't it you, Phil, that told me about Netflix hacking thing?
Yes, that was Phil.
Yeah. So there is this guy. Well, sorry, I said guy. Sorry, there's this hacker, because it could be a female hacker too. Who knows? But they're called the Dark Overlord. I mean, that's just so edgy. I mean, like,
and I know you hate using that word. That's why earlier I was like, actually, what I said was not edgy. That was just lead speak.
I hear people trying to be edgy. As they call it. What the fuck is it? Anyway, we get past that. Anyway,
got pushed.
So they apparently stole a lot of unreleased
Yeah.
TV shows from major networks and like from coming seasons for Netflix. So the Orange is the New Black.
Mm-hmm.
So they put
Show.
the Orange is the New Black up for ransom. I think they have the first 10 episodes because the last 3 were not done yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in the full post production. So they were like, hey, look, give us money or we can put this out. And here's the first episode to prove that we have what we have.
Yeah.
And Netflix didn't do it. And they put out the first 10 episodes and said, you know,
I'm glad
we could come to an agreement. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, America
because the amount of people that are going to watch it off of that, I honestly don't know that it's going to be enough. You know, and those people were probably going to do it anyway. Like when it came out on Netflix, they probably don't have Netflix accounts. You know,
exactly. So that my thing is that most people who have Netflix accounts are going to be like, I'll watch it when it comes out.
There's probably a small minority of people that own a Netflix account that would still participate in something like that. You know, just because they have to have it first, that kind of thing.
The other issue with that too is that like all your internet activity can be tracked. So if you start downloading a lot of illegal stuff, and there are companies that look for that stuff, they will pay internet companies to give them that information so they can go after people who do illegal downloads. So I mean, it's probably in best interest just not to download it. And if you live in the US, if you live outside the US, those laws don't stretch. Well, the laws do stretch that far, but it's like they're not going to spend the money to go after those people. But it may happen, so you know, it's not at your own risk. Yeah, but the same hacker claims that they also stole unreleased content from ABC, Fox, National Geographic, and IFC.
Yeah,
and they apparently obtained all of this variety of content from a breach that they did to a post-production company called Larson Studios. So a lot of the post-production stuff, you know, and I guess a little mixing and stuff gets done. Digital mixing gets done by like some popular, like this is like one of the popular digital mixing services out there in Los Angeles.
Right.
So even though you might have all your content and stuff that you do on your own, it still usually goes to one like major set of groups of people that can do all the final touching up on stuff. And it happens in the music industry as well. You got a lot of people that do the mastering, and it's usually a set group of people that do the stuff for the big studios. Yeah. So, yeah, this person.
Well, it's like with games. Games do the same thing. You know, they like exactly. Big games, even Mass Effect Andromeda or whatever. You know, they, even though they technically have done the majority of the work, there's still work that's farmed out to you know, other countries. You know. And we talked about this a while back, or I at least brought up this article where I was reading about how, you know, this one company was like, you know, no, we're not a sweatshop. We actually pay this much wage. We have to technically know these kinds of things. We treat it as a trade. You know, nobody here has a degree, you know, but we bring in people to teach them how to do something. And it's just something that they learn on the job. And it seems crazy, but it's actually not, because when I took 3D, that's what I did in the classroom. You learn some theory, and then you actually have to do it. You know, it's a trade. It's a skilled craft.
And then when you think about, again, like, you know, like Naughty Dog's doing Uncharted, and their stuff is very, very tightly knit. You know, a set amount of things. It's easier for them to keep majority of that stuff in house and just do it. Right. But then when you got games that are these open world RPGs where numerous conversations and background things could happen, I mean, it's like you need to outsource a bunch of that stuff and just get like very basic, you know, 3D rendering and stuff done. So, you know, it's very easy to see that they can send out to some place and somebody has no idea how to do a whole bunch of 3D stuff, but they know how to do shading.
Right, exactly.
That person might know a little bit of something about, you need to put the light in this area up. So they just know to key these things in this area, and that's all they do. And they just pass it on to the next person. It just goes down the lane. So it's easy for a lot of stuff to be leaked in that regards if people are nowhere to go and look and, you know, pull that stuff. So that's why hackers can get their hands on a lot of stuff.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, it goes to the post-production or whatever, like you said, for this one company, and then they get the assets there, or that's where we get still shots and that kind of stuff. It's like, where'd that come from, you know? Yep.
But apparently it's becoming a very big issue because they said in the same article, it said that ransomware attacks have increased in the past 5 years, and they're up 50% in 2016, and compared to 2015.
Yeah.
And that was some info that was posted by Verizon.
Yeah. Well, I've known about it for quite some time because of doing web production stuff and working with nonprofits and seeing them get hit with it, which is pretty fucking scummy. But it is what it is, you know? It's like when you have a nonprofit that only has a certain amount of money, it's really hard to stretch that money. But when you have other major players, like bigger companies that don't handle their own business properly, like movie studios that don't have proper security, it's just a bad thing across the country in general. You know, it's just security's too expensive. Nobody wants to do it, you know, because they look at it like insurance, but it's really not the same as insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance is something totally different. So.
Yep. And the main issue with that too, like you said, like, is you have obviously, like, if you're making Star Wars or any of your big movies, you're gonna have the tightest fucking security that you could possibly have.
Yep.
But at some point, that has to go to different places so that it can be distributed.
Yeah.
And those places are not gonna spend the level of money, the amount of money that they're gonna spend, that you know, Disney or Universal or any of those big studios are gonna spend to secure their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the point where it's like it's easy to go in and snatch it.
Yep.
Which is why you get a lot of stuff that you can download and watch before it comes out on DVD or whatever. You know, you always get that stuff easy to go and get, and you always get it with like some weird subtitles or something on it because it wasn't meant for you.
Yeah.
But
so my line in the notes was Netflix hacker is an asshole. That's how I knew to bring it up.
I totally agree. I just find, I mean, honestly, that's like just basically like going into a store and just taking that stuff and just stealing it and just walking back out and just saying, hey, look, oh, you want this back? You know, well, give me money for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you could justify that. You think that that's right? Because even if you don't agree with something that maybe that company did in the past.
Well, I mean, justification, it can always be found for anything. Well,
yeah, but that doesn't make it right, though.
Well, I mean, obviously, when we talk about things like what is right in morality, it's all bent to whatever. It's super subjective. It's not a black and white thing. We generally agree on a lot of things as a society, and that's how laws get made. But even then, people within them don't always respect them or believe them. They just are enforced to follow them. But I mean, people all the time would be like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have left that on the table. Clearly, you didn't want to drink it, so I drank it."
Jesus Christ. Yeah, like, that's some stupid, scummy shit. It really is.
But there are people who are like that, and they're just like, "Oh, I mean, you didn't. Clearly, you didn't want it. I mean, otherwise you would have been doing this. So, I mean,
did you not have a family that taught you things?
You would think that through some sort of natural socialization, some people would, but people do that all the time.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to any sort of competition. There are some people who are so fucking competitive that shit goes out the window.
That's why I don't like playing like sports. I don't even like playing sports with friends anymore because people just get too serious.
Counter-Strike with certain people or whatever.
Or PvP games. Yeah, I find it gets, whenever PvP comes into the game, it gets nasty.
Yep. I don't like it. And people have made me try to play it in the past in the B3 community, and to be a good sport, me being the good sport, I have engaged in it. And then when I'm like, it's not for me, I don't like it, and it's like, oh, it's because it's like really because of kind of how you're acting right now. It's like you're acting like a douchebag. It doesn't make me feel good to have you act like a douchebag because you're killing me a lot. Yeah, it's not a fun time for me. How is that hard to understand?
Yeah, like there's that.
Oh, it's all in good fun. Yeah, because you're winning, you asshole.
That trite saying, "All's fair in love and war."
Yeah,
yeah, like that. Like it'd be like, oh well, I mean, you were playing to win, so I mean, if you weren't going to go into like my stuff and steal my shit and break my legs, then clearly you didn't want to win hard enough. Shit like that. Like, people think that way. So that's
there were those kids.
Some people might be like, oh, well, if you're not going to protect your shit, then you're pretty much asking me to steal it. So why not?
This happened some time back, but there were some kids that were playing, I think, FIFA. I'm pretty sure you've heard about this, that basically stole a shitload of money in-game currency that translated
gold something or other.
Yeah.
Actually, I was hearing about this the other day.
Yeah.
Symbiotic actually knows a lot about it.
Either one of them's from Texas or all three of them are from Texas, something like that. But they would like simulate games, and they did it on a small scale until they realized they could do it on a large scale using cloud-based services. And so that's where they fucked up. They got too greedy, all right? But what happened is they make a bunch of accounts, they simulate these games, and there's always a winner or loser. They are always the winner because the accounts belong to them, and the games get simulated like in a matter of seconds or whatever like that, and then they get all this in-game currency, and then they could use that to actually, kind of like the Counter-Strike stuff where you could use in-game stuff to like translate it to real-world money somehow, like maybe buy in-game stuff and then sell it for real-world money. I didn't see the last part of that transaction in the article, but yeah, that kind of thing. Can't stop yourself.
I think they were generating the currency and then selling it to people. I think you could just trade it to people or
they were generating it through playing matches, having two accounts play matches or multiple accounts play matches. And there's always, like I said, there's always a winner, there's always a loser, but they are always the winner because they own the accounts. And then they were just putting it into, that's just how it was. So I was like, yeah, that's You gotta know, you gotta have some kind of moral compass there that says, you know what, this is probably fucked up and we're probably gonna go to jail for this. Somebody is, But at least the fear, there's no fear there, that people think that it's like the online, saying whatever you want online because you're not in person. People think they're fearless, because there's no consequence. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna say whatever I want. It's like, you really wouldn't do that to my face. You really wouldn't, But I have some stuff here. You just to lighten up the mood a little bit. I know that the Division's free this weekend, and so is Rocket League. I didn't realize that it was free this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't realize Rocket League was at all until you mentioned it on Twitter.
Yeah, the old B3 GamingCast account. If you're not following it, well, yeah. But I'm going to keep trying to put stuff out as I see that throughout the week, like if something happens, because I don't always...
I would say both of those games, but especially Rocket League.
Rocket League, absolutely.
Is worth giving a whirl, just
right?
to see what you think, because when it first came out, everybody was like jizzing all over it.
I know.
Like, oh my god, Rocket League's so good!
And
I was
cool.
like, I don't know, it looks pretty cool, but I don't know. And then I played it somewhere. I don't know if it was a free weekend or I played it at somebody else's house. I was like, you know what, this is actually really fun.
Yep.
So, I mean, give it a whirl, because you either will play it and you'll be like, nope, I don't need to spend money on this, but then or you'll play and you're like, oh, this is really cool, and then you can decide whether or not you want to get it. Or
I think there's enough mechanically that you would want to work on skill-wise. It's like, oh, I almost got that perfect. Kind of drives that, for me at least.
Especially those really badass people who can, like, fly in the air and hit a ball somehow. I still am nowhere near that.
I just want to be able to connect with the ball and make it go in the direction that I want. That's all. I don't need tricks. I mean, it'd be cool, but I'm not that cool.
Some aerial hits, man, there's some cool ass shit people can do intentionally.
Did you see me spin in the air? Yeah, shut up. Get out of my face. But you're on my side, so you're amazing. Never mind.
One thing I will say, though, is that since you brought the Division, since December, their numbers have been just on a sharp decline in terms of players. So you could clearly tell that this is just like one of their last-ditch efforts to milk as much as possible to get the last few players into maybe play the game or
somebody
asked,
level of
excitement.
Yeah, you know how they have the free, like, what is it, 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever at any time? They've had that for a while. I don't know if you remember that or not. But you could play the game for, like, the first couple of missions or for the first 4 hours or something like that. And that gets you through the first few missions. Well, this is not in conjunction with that. So basically, you could just play limitless throughout the weekend if you want to really burn yourself through. Here's the weird thing is, I still hold that The Division now is a great game to play. And if you haven't played it before and it's your kind of thing to play third-person shooters and you like the environment, or you're not really sure about the environment, I would absolutely recommend it, especially if you find it on a sale with like the DLC. Because I've had at least over 300 some odd, 60, maybe 370 hours in that game. I love that game. But there is a limit. And I've said that so many times. There's always a limit to every game, how much you can expect out of it,
cycle.
you know, and especially if the devs, right, they're going to give up on it. Well, what are you going to do? They got to move on to other things, you know. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, you know, but still a fun game.
But I mean, that's life. Everything has a life cycle. So
no way, Phil.
right now,
a game should fulfill everything in my life.
If the game doesn't have 13,000 hours of gameplay, it's not worth the $5 I could pay it.
Don't get it wrong. It will fulfill as much as you want, but it's going to do that for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Timmy, but Goldfish actually died.
Yeah, I wonder if that.
I like how you're gonna move on.
I was gonna
wait a second. That's.
I realized what you said. Oh man, yeah.
But no, it's still a real. Like if you want to play the single player, and I could say the single player is fun. You go through it. I mean, at this price point, 50% off. Or if you were some kind of person that could let you sit down and just play a game hardcore for a weekend, you probably could finish that game.
Oh wow, yeah.
In a weekend. I mean, if you have nothing else to do that weekend.
I don't know, man. I got laid off from my job back in October, and I played it for like at least a week and a half or something before I hit 30. Or maybe 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks.
But even? You were also enjoying the game and checking things
true.
out.
I wasn't burning out the content.
Yeah, if people were just doing mission to mission to mission to mission to mission to mission.
That's true. Especially if you have like hardcore big ballers like us, you know, to lead you through it. It's true.
Come on, let's go ahead and play through the game, which really means I do everything and you're confused and stumble towards me.
To be fair, Graham, before you were going to say that, I was going to say, unless you have someone like Graham, if you've never played with Graham, he will drag you through every fucking thing you need to do. Just remember, there's not going to be any downtime. Fucking move.
Hey, when you play a certain game enough,
I know
you pretty much are. You end up in like speedrun world. Even though I don't like the speedrun, you eventually things become so memorized that you instinctively react to things that aren't there yet.
No, Graham, you've got it wrong, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got an article about speedrunning here.
Fuck speedrunning.
No, hold on.
And if you like speedrunning, that's fine.
Hold on. There's some speedrunning that I can respect, meaning like you're playing the game normally. You're not rolling like an asshole because rolling is faster. You're playing the fucking game.
Or bunny hopping.
Or bunny hopping or some other
dumbass to glitch through 3 levels.
Right. Yeah, if you're just playing the game and you're actually going through it as legitimately as possible, whatever, right, great. But so someone speed ran, I guess that's the portal using without using any portals. So how do you know the game Portal? Both of y'all know the game Portal, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you play that game without? How do you solve things without portals? You can't, right? Like
as far as I know, without shooting a portal, at least one, you can't beat the game.
Right, you can't. Like, even if you could do 1 or 2 puzzles, which I don't think you can, because the whole point of the fucking game is portals.
Yeah, I think you can't get out of that first room unless you use a portal.
Well, now, Phil, it's not an exploit, and I'll tell you why. Because the player spawned in what they refer to as airboats. It's an item that's not in the game, but because it's a Valve game, the item is in the game's logic there. You know, it's like, once again, you know, Half-Life, it's got all the garbage in there that, you know, there's items are in there. So they spawned in with a console command that was bound to a key. These things called airboats that allowed them to jump on top of and, you know, to progress their way across the level. And I'm like, how does that qualify as... How does that... Well, now, Phil, it's not an exploit. You see, because they did the speed run, and this was in comments, and I'm being like a piece of shit condescending asshole because this is what this person deserves. This is how they sounded. They're like, well, it's still a speed run. It's just in the parameters of they spawned in airboats. No, you fucking idiot. That's a goddamn cheat. That's an exploit. It's an item that does not belong in the fucking game, and they spawned it in through a console command, but it's not an item that is normally in the game. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's an exploit. That, according to, you know, how you define the word exploit, that's an exploit.
Yeah, it's not a glitch. It's an exploit, absolutely.
Yeah.
But this person was like, I wish I remember what news article. It was on my phone that I was reading it, but what news outlet was, because they were going to every comment trying to explain, look, these are the some parameters of speed runs are you use a glitch. Some of them you don't use any, you just go through it normally. And in this one, the specific parameter is spawned in air boats. And it sounds like maybe they were having a laugh. They were not. They were actively and seriously defending that position.
You know Seinfeld?
Yes.
You know the Serenity Now thing? That's the
Serenity Now.
Serenity Now. Like, I have like the heavy sigh expression and the Serenity Now pose where I'm like up at the sky. That's how I feel about this.
No. You have to be more in tune with the modern terms for that. No, it's no namaste.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I understand. Yeah, because I didn't watch a whole lot of stuff. I watched a lot, but not.
This guy can console command my dick into his mouth, and it's inside the parameters. So how about that?
Graham, I hate to tell you, but that's probably an exploit too.
That's an exploit.
Not according to him.
You'd be exploiting him.
That did not naturally occur within the mouth orifice. You spawned that in there, sir. It's an exploit. But see that kind of attitude there with that guy trying to defend it. This is what makes me want to shit on speedrunning even more. And the problem is, I know people in the Twitch community that do it. I like them as people. I hate speedruns. I don't know how to. And I like standard where you're just playing the game but going through it quickly. I like that.
I don't know what the term for that is. If it's like,
it's called being good. Fuck yeah! Damn! Fucking burn, bitches!
Long run speed runs, or I don't know. I bet you there's probably a term. I should ask a speedrunner. I know a few of them.
I'm telling you,
I should ask them what it's called to do whatever. But I mean, when you know someone like that, it was like, I mean, when you start to like try to shape that, the edges are going to be debated because well, that's not really an exploit. So blah blah. I mean, but yeah, I mean that's how. If I were to speedrun, that's how I would do it. I would do it
that's like
just through the natural parts of the game, not trying to manipulate the game in any capacity.
This person was trying to argue semantics. It's like me saying, look, I didn't kill that person. I merely ended his life with a gun. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, you got that's exactly it, yeah.
There were parameters to it, okay? Parameters!
At which point the officer will say, oh, yeah, I understand you, sir, but if you walk this way, we can process you.
Exactly. Within these parameters of the law.
No, I'm sorry. I can't defend that level of stupidity.
I can't. And it's that kind of stuff that makes it worse for the speedrunning community. Don't. Just admit. It's like what I say about like people that try to like, they won't admit that their shit stinks. It's just, look. You fucked up, all right? It fucked up. Just admit it, and let's all move on, all right? Just, it's dumb. Everyone just admit it. Stop trying to defend it.
Hey, you did something unique and weird, and it's kind of cool, but don't say that you didn't bring something in the game that didn't belong.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Yeah. I mean,
I think people are probably pulling too much from what large corporations do whenever something bad happens, and they go full into damage control as opposed to
it was not an oil spill.
You know what? We fucked up. Let's own this. No, it's like, all right. So how can we just make this go away as quickly as possible? That's the first thing that you think. You know?
I did not have sexual. Oh, sorry.
With that woman.
Yeah. Oh,
I did not have sexual relations. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's Mike Clinton.
Graham, did you want to talk about TwitchCon 2017?
Yeah, I guess so. I was hoping to get some community.
I love the enthusiasm.
So, yeah, well, I didn't get much community input, so that was unfortunate. So
maybe next time.
A little sad. Yeah. If anybody wants to, if they're like, oh shit, I should have done that. I saw that tweet and I meant to, but life happened. That's okay. I'll still love you. But feel free to share because I was curious.
Or ask people that you know. Anyone listening?
Yeah, it's true. I haven't been there ever. I haven't been to any like big con thing.
Where's it going to be this year?
Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California.
Which is one of the few states I've never been to, which is also odd because usually it's not one of the 50 that people haven't been to. I've been to like 35 out of the 50 states.
Woo! Damn.
That's good, man.
So yeah, so I've never been there, so it's really cool. So a lot of firsts, and the whole thing. I know lots of people that went last year. Like I saw all the pictures on tweets on Twitter, and like everybody saying how great a time they had, and so good to see everybody and whatever. But I didn't have that experience, and so I don't really know too much about it. So I was really hoping to get someone who had been to be like, oh, what about it made it so good that you want to go back? Because I can't answer that yet. And even after until after I do it this year, I won't know. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty cool. I decided to go last year just before it was happening. Some people told me I should go, and I was like, why? And they're like, oh, it'd be really cool to meet you and whatever and blah, 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 and do all the stuff and hang out. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I don't know. So I thought about it based upon that. And I was like,
that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, oh.
It would really be cool to meet some people. And like, I would be totally fine if people got together and created like a meet and greet. We're like, oh, let's go and like meet like for one weekend at this place, whatever. Just hang out. We could like LAN or something really nerdy. But that requires a lot of work, and not everybody wants to be a party planner. So this sort of opportunity is there, and it's on a large enough scale that people that I wouldn't even think of being like, oh my God, we can hang out. I'll be like, oh shit, you're going. We can totally hang out now.
Also, it's a bit more official, unlike, I don't know if these people were actually axe murderers, but see, with TwitchCon, it's
it's a much more public thing. Yeah. So, I'm usually more skeptical, but I mean, I don't know if that even crossed my mind, but that's a really good point. You will less likely get murdered by someone who claims to be somebody.
It's an old joke we used to do in our MMO guild back in the day, because we play this guild for so long that for years you're talking to these people, online, mostly every night, that joke would come up. It's like, man, it'd be cool to like meet up, unless you're an axe murderer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's lots of people that I've forged some really good friendships through Twitch communities, and so it'd be really nice to meet these people and hang out with them and chat with them in person, and just kind of make who they are much more vibrant. Their identity, who they are, seeing them in person will, I think, strengthen a lot of those bonds and also come with some really cool memories. And I happen to get through a lot of stuff and have the financial means that I could easily start saving up for it. So I knew it could happen, because if I couldn't make sure that it was going to happen, I'm like, I'm not going to commit to doing whatever. Right. I don't really need to, but I could. So I was like, all right, this is going to happen. I'm going to make sure it happens and plan for all that stuff. And so, so I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people at TwitchCon. And then I don't really know. Like, it'll be interesting once I know whatever the fuck else is going on there. But primarily it's social reasons for why I'm going to go. And then there might be some other stuff that's really neat, and some other stuff that I'm probably going to look at and go, and then not do that. So
that's okay.
There's always got to be something like any sort of like panel or whatever. Like I remember when you, Janzer, were toying with PAX South, was it? Or something?
Yeah.
There was like one panel or something that was interesting to you, and the rest you didn't give a shit about. There's always
I would have gone if like people would have gone that I knew in the community, Twitch or Twitter, gaming. But I had no real reason to go myself, other than just super bored or something, and I can always find something to do other than just blow money.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff there. I just be like, I don't give a shit about that. Fuck that. But yeah. So yeah. But
how many days is TwitchCon though?
29.
There's only one day.
It's a 3-day thing.
3 days. Okay.
Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. I think Saturday is like the heavy day. I think Friday is a good amount of stuff, but I don't remember because I would have to look at last year's thing to see. And this is their third one, I think. So I mean, there's not a whole lot of previous years to look back on. I think this is the third. It could be the fourth, but it's definitely not more than that. I think it's the third though. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah. Just make sure you bring lots of hand sanitizer and stuff like that if you go.
I am
Full body
exposed to all
condom.
sorts of shit. If anything, I'm going to make other people sick. I'm not concerned.
Wait, hang on. You told him to bring a condom?
No, full body condom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Full body
Only
condom.
one?
All protection, just to protect yourself.
Only
You
one?
could double up. I don't know. Depends on how sensitive you are.
Wait, I don't double it up. Is it you just gonna use it?
Yeah, maybe. You got 3 days. I don't know. It's up to you.
Then you become the problem at the con.
It's all sweaty in here. Yeah. Gross. I can't talk to you unless you get inside the condom. What?
No, like,
Can't
a lot of
hear you.
people,
Get
a lot of people
inside
do go to
the
like these cons, and when they leave, they're like sick.
They're dead.
For the following
Yeah.
week and stuff. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Also, I gotta say, the little bit of a perv in me, obviously, and I'm looking forward to some cosplay.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what cosplay is all about.
That's right.
Yep. Except for that one video I saw.
That one really bizarre video that was actually about
With
the
you,
art.
man.
You know, I tried to find it in my history. Couldn't find it. I think I dreamed it.
It was, it's probably like a unicorn or something.
I think so.
You're just like,
I don't think it
you
actually
swear
existed.
you saw it, you think it's there. Maybe it was there, but then the Illuminati destroyed it.
Well, sometimes to help go to sleep, I do take, I think it's melanin. I think that's correct.
Melatonin?
Melatonin?
I hope it's not melanin.
Melatonin sounds right.
I always get
That
those two mixed
will
up.
make
I
you
do.
super drowsy.
Melatonin.
I once
that's
knew an
fine.
individual that downed like an entire bottle on
Oh,
accident.
God. No, that's not good.
And they were like really drowsy the entire day.
Oh, that's weird, dude. Look, I take one that's like a really high amount. You're recommended to be, I can't remember what it's like a 3 grams or 7, I don't know, 3 milligrams, something like that. And I take like a 3 times that kind of thing because I always have problems actually going to sleep. And it does help. There is a side effect. It makes me have very lucid dreams. And the reason why I took it was because I had tried out that Joe Rogan pill type stuff. He has like some company. I think I can't remember the name of it. But they do all kinds of like fitness type, pills or whatever.
Fitness factor.
And shakes and
I'm
all
telling you,
that.
I used to be
heard
into all this shit, dude. Not necessarily like supplements and all that, but just whatever. I was like, this looked kind of neat. I was like, I wonder if this is any, or whatever. It's supposed to help with your, like your brain function, like, whatever, or memory or whatever. I was like, I'll try it out, whatever. It sounds neat. God damn it, where is it?
I'm very anti-pill. Like, I have to get to the point where the headache really hurts and won't go away before I take a Panadol.
Yeah.
And I remember
On it.
a friend of mine was like, okay.
That's what
a
it's
friend of mine was introducing me to like vitamins and stuff. I said, man, we're working out a lot more. You should take some more of these vitamins. And I took some of the vitamins, and there was like my pee turned like this fluorescent green. I was like, nah,
oh yeah.
Food I had never did that to me before, so no thanks.
Well, like B vitamins will turn your pee like yellowish if it's food coloring a yellow in it. Like that used to happen in I think World War II. World War II, they used to pump them full of like B vitamins, and so they'd be pissing out yellow.
What?
Yeah,
that means that you're taking too much of something, and your body's like, no, you shouldn't.
It's
be
just
doing
getting
this,
rid of
buddy.
it.
So,
yep.
So I was like, yeah, my body's right. Just
yeah. No, I take a B complex as well sometimes. So, but that's just new stuff. Like, and here's the thing that changed my mind about all that stuff: iron pills, and actually seeing the effect of it. But that's because I went to the doctor. Because shit was wrong with me, and we measured what was wrong, and that's why I don't just fucking self-medicate. That's a big difference. Yeah. So, like, even with the
melatonin,
yeah, even that I asked him about it, and he was like, oh, this and this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, fair enough. So,
and then you can't just grab stuff too that just says vitamin B, because you gotta look at what type of vitamin B it is.
That's correct.
Because like some people, if you take it, then your palm starts to itch.
Yeah. You can overdose on vitamins for sure. Yep. Yeah, your body doesn't always reject everything. Like iron, nobody should be taking iron pills that you don't know what the dosage means. You don't know how you can poison yourself. You could kill your fucking one of your organs. I can't remember which one, but Yeah, it's not a good thing. Iron does not quickly go out of your system for people that have normal functionality for that. This is the health cast? God damn it. I'm sorry.
History and health, yo.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you know what?
Be another H. Hurry. Be the H3.
There's nothing wrong with gaming and health. People should be healthy if they're gaming, you know? You're sitting on your ass all the time.
That's horny. You got it.
Yep.
H3.
Especially if you're streaming too.
H3 gaming cast? Oh, health cast? Yeah, all right, fair enough.
H3 topic cast.
Healthy, horny, and what? Yeah, okay.
And helpful.
Hand sanitizer. All
History.
Right.
Horny.
History, health, and horny.
History.
That's right.
Oh,
the history
God.
of how to stay healthy with boners.
This is painful. Let's move on. YouTube ad YouTube ad revenue is down all around, and apparently COD WW2 YouTube creators that cover COD that are going to want to cover World War II, that new version, which, by the way, apparently people are all okay with it now. They're already crying over loss of revenue. I'm sorry, but they're basically preemptively crying about the fact that they're not going to get revenue out of it because that's going to be flagged as like war material or whatever, you know. And they might have a case, you know. I just brought it up because I saw it tweeted somebody and I read the article and I was like, what? Okay.
Oh, you mean because that's mature type content?
I think it's because
so they can get less views because of that, or less, ad revenues from that. Yeah,
here's the problem with like that stuff is I don't know like these people. I don't know if they have a history. Like that one guy who got swatted a bunch or got the cops come. I don't know their history. I don't know like or that one guy that was on the airplane and like got dragged was like talking and I don't know, some foreign language, and people were like, oh, but apparently his whole channel was all about like trying to get people to throw him off airplanes, you know? So it's just, you know, I don't know the history when I read these articles, and it goes back to that whole don't necessarily just, you know, take everything at face value what you don't research. And so I don't know, and that's why I think I was talking to you, Phil, about like, do you know anybody that has been affected by ad revenue? And you said you did.
Yeah, I do know somebody that has. They said it's down like 45% for them.
Oof, jeez, yeah,
and that's a big dip.
Yeah, and I do know the person you're talking about too. And for me to having known this, I've known him for a long time, longer than I've known you. I think I'm pretty sure. Yep, in fact, yes,
longer. Yeah.
Although I don't really talk to him much anymore, but you know, way back in the day. So what I'm saying is, he's a pretty decent guy. I've always had a decent opinion of him. You know, I know the content that he does is not super controversial in any way that I could tell. Shit, one of them was like, let's help out this kid that's got a problem medically. I don't think that's controversial, you know. It's like raising money for people, you know. But and he's pretty good with the community because Warframe stuff, whatever, and all that. But the important part is, if it comes from a closer source like that, and I know the guy's channel is growing. That's like, okay, I guess I can, you know, believe a bit that people's shit's getting affected. I just don't know. Like, I've heard from another guy that has YouTube stuff and that's more Twitch-based, where he's like, oh, my stuff is getting unmonetized. And I'm like, do you know that some of the titles of my videos, I mean, one of the videos I have is about, I mean, I swear, I talk about, somebody made a comment in my chat and I read it out and it was about feet fucking. I mean, or 24-hour live streaming our corpses, you know. I put that as the title for B3. It's monetized. The point being, like, I haven't had anything. I've been called out in comments for cursing way too much on my own videos on my Gender247. So point being, you know, anecdotal stuff is anecdotal. It's hard for me to tell what's really being affected. When you have places like H3 crying, they're always crying about something. I can't tell if what they're doing is legit or not, you know, when they're crying wolf. It's hard to tell, you know, because they're trying to get a certain thing to occur for themselves. And the way to do that is to apply a lot of pressure and make a really loud noise, you know? So, yeah.
I think
it's really hard.
I think it is affecting, I don't know how many people, but I know it's affecting some people to the point where, like, but their thing is more like, oh man, you know, stuff not being monetized, but there's like a lot of factors in there as well to like companies can opt out of advertising on things that have particular, you know, themes. So they might say, well, look, they might just see like a lot of video games as being violent. So there's like, you know, I don't want any of my stuff in video games because there's a chance that it's going to be in a violent video game.
Or like in a video game with the kangaroo that's getting punched.
Yeah, or anything like that. So they might just say, no, scratch that off to this, anything with that. So
that would be hilarious. I'm
your
sorry, that if you had a PETA ad.
You want nothing with kangaroos.
See, your videos will still remain monetized, but like, if majority of your revenue comes from people viewing in the US, obviously certain advertisers are going to pay a little bit more to have their ad running than others. So you make like a little bit more money, you know, a few more cents or whatever per view.
That's a big thing too.
Small. So yeah. So with people like that pulling away from that kind of content, now you might start to like, you know, certain people would see the definite hit that's coming from that when certain ads aren't running, as opposed to ads are still running, but these are not people who are paying, you know, premium
high CPM.
To get their stuff out.
By the way, it's not clicks per million. I know I've seen this like in comments and all that. It's actually, I know people that like buy and sell ads because I'm in web. So we had people that would do that, you know, and it's something like, it's not million. It's like another word that doesn't make any sense to me. And that's why I forgot it. It's so weird, but it's basically like impressions or whatever, I think is what they refer to it as, anyways, just, yeah, that came into my mind. Sorry. I'll shut up now. Now I'm looking for it. Mill.
But the other thing though too.
Yeah. MILLE.
The other thing though is, a lot of these YouTubers and stuff are now jumping over to Twitch to try to fill that void.
There you go.
And I find that kind of interesting because those are two different beasts. Editing and just putting up videos like that, as opposed to live streaming and all. This live, you gotta be on point all the time and you gotta be entertaining. It's easy to edit something. No, sorry, it's not easy to do it. Right. But it's a different thing where you chop and edit and put things together and make it entertaining. It's like that's like a trailer. You can make a movie. Yeah, a movie could be absolute shit, but you can make a trailer for that movie that looks fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, editing does a whole lot.
Watch that. Yeah, you go watch that movie and it's absolute crap.
Yep.
You know, or you got like a comedy show, and you record it, you edit it, you put it out. But then there are some shows that be like, we can do it live. You know, recorded in front of a live audience. Right. And it's happening live while it's being aired on the network.
Yeah, a lot of them do
that's a whole different ball, you know. That's like going into like, you know, theater acting. Because you gotta remember all your lines, you gotta be on point, you got delivery gotta be right. So it's like I'm just wondering how this is gonna be, because I know a lot of people are gonna still watch these people because they're popular on YouTube. Of course. So they're gonna go over there and watch it. But I don't know, I wanna know how the longevity or how this is gonna affect Twitch and current Twitch streamers with how they do things. Yeah.
What I don't want is I don't want Twitch to try to make up for what YouTube doesn't have anymore, or try to offer things that YouTube has just to pull people over. Like this whole thing about like allowing comments on uploaded videos. I read the blog article about that, but I was informed by somebody, by Jim, Grindhead Jim, that has nothing to do with like highlights, and you can also restrict it to where only the people that follow you can put comments. But I didn't see any of that information in the blog article. So this goes back to, once again, like I do trust people's words for things, but I don't. Like I need to officially see it. Right. I need to see that it's not going to turn into YouTube. You know, because
I imagine it would.
Well, here's the thing. That's my
estimate. And if it's just following, does it delete it if you unfollow? Because I could just follow you and call you, you know, all sorts of things, and then
that's my experience with YouTube, because I've done YouTube so long. I've dealt with comments that come in. Like I said, I've made the comment before where sometimes you can wake up after putting in a video that gets a lot of traction, and you get like 5 comments that are like, you suck, you're a piece of shit, whatever, all that kind of stuff. I don't care to wake up to that stuff in my email, you know, because they're trolls. or they're shit posting, or somebody that wants to. I've had people tell me that supposedly support me, and I never kicked them out or anything, people out, but they're like, oh, I gave your video a dislike because I felt like it needed to be balanced out for the likes that it had. I was like, what? So, and they're not kidding. They really would do it. Or, I'm gonna say, wow, okay, that's funny to you, but you got to remember, I do this all the time. It doesn't always get easier. Sometimes it gets harder to deal with all of that shit. And so my refuge, in a sense, has been Twitch. Like, I've really come to enjoy how Twitch is a very of the moment type of thing. And you can directly interact with people versus somebody throwing an egg at your house, when you're not around.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to turn into that. And hopefully, they're like, oh, you can moderate. And I was like, that's even more work of having to go through all of your comments that are on your videos that you uploaded or highlights or whatever and weed out all of the garbage. It just, I know. Here's the problem is I looked at that tweet and everybody was like, yeah, this is amazing. This is the best thing ever. And I'm like, now I sound like negative Nancy, but I can only see it as negative because of YouTube. It's the experience that I had. So
yeah, I mean, you're speaking from experience, and I'm sure for a lot of people,
also
like,
my
perspective, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. Then I could just spend more time on there and whatever, and more social media because I don't have enough somehow.
Right. It's just no. That's another fucking good point. It's just another platform where information is being put. It's like Discord, like we have like 3 channels in the B3 GamingCast, and that's enough for me. That's more than enough for me. I don't really like the fact that Discord doesn't show like the number of messages that you have not read, for example, next to the names of the chat rooms. That way I can know if there's something I want. I have a little bit of an OCD where I have to keep up to date on all messages. It goes back to the job. I just
need the little white thing go away. Just
yeah,
like
I know.
Games, I need to make the exclamation mark go away. I don't even know if I really want to read it, but I need.
I go through other people. I go through other people's channels that I'm part of, and I just scroll all the way to the bottom.
I do that a lot. There's a lot of ones that I've joined that I'm like, I don't really need to unjoin, but I don't really spend any time here. But I need to get these fucking little white circles away. Or and they have like 13 different channels. I'm like, God damn it, fucking God, mark is red, please.
When somebody wants to at everyone something, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get that. I gotta make that stop. It's got a little marker next to it, and I gotta go see what it was. And then I read it, and I'm like, come on, man.
Everybody here. I really like ponies.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. Why? Why did you make my OCD get triggered?
Oh, yeah. Check out my animated GIF. Yeah. See, this is where I build my reputation for being an asshole. God damn it.
Hey, at least I camaraderie your asshole with you.
I feel good about it now. Thanks. But yeah, ad revenue down. COD WW2 people were crying about revenue that's lost for the future, and other people were like, you should have done other stuff. While that's true, don't be a dick about it. Come on. It's just
Or what it could do is just make them have to approach their COD videos in a different way.
No way, dude.
Find something different to do. Don't just put the video out there and just leave it.
I got to put up my videos on COD about me trolling kids. Come on.
If that's all you can do, then go ahead.
Or like that one guy got for zombies, COD zombies, and his phrase, what do you call it? Iconic phrase, rape train. Come on. Are you going to deny me my rape trains? How dare you, Phil? Advertisers love that stuff. Free speech.
Okay. Is that a point where I just blink at you like a couple times,
if I could
turn around and walk away?
Any harder, my brain would fall out of it.
And that's exactly why I'm doing it, because what I'm saying should sound fucking ridiculous, because it is. I'm making a joke of it, and because it's fucking stupid. Nobody wants to I'm gonna give this kid some advertising money because he's yelling about rape trains all the time. Well, guess what? They did it. Yeah. YouTube trying to actually clean up their act.
I think advertisers should take a moral upbringing and they should only support people that are good and love Jesus.
Well, the problem is they're doing it. They took so long. It's like that thing with like Warframe or whatever. They allowed certain things for so long that by the time they went to go change it, people were crying about it because they allowed it for so long. They allowed so much, unbridled power in that game. And then when they were like, we need to balance this out. Oh, outrage! What do you mean I can't kill something that I can't see through a wall anymore? Fuck! This game's garbage.
This is bullshit. I used to get the star sprinkles, and now they got fucking dinosaurs. This is bullshit.
What kind of cereal company are you?
What next? They could give me fucking trees? Ah!
What happened to my panty marshmallows?
Hey, I can get behind that.
I'm sorry, Pantsu. There you go. Now the internet readers are happy. My Pantsu. Right.
Yeah, got the weed market in here. All right.
We got that covered. Man, we're good. We got this fucking podcast.
So, any of you guys saw that Dark Souls? Sorry, not Dark Souls, Darksiders.
Thank you. Thank you for saving us, because we was just going to get worse. Burning dumpster fire is what it was.
All right, before we discuss this, I think we should talk about our history with the series. I have seen chunks of maybe 1 and 2, but they kind of merged together. And I have never played any of them, but I've thought about it a couple times when they've been on sale, but they haven't been on sale enough for me. Because a lot of people equated the first one as like a Zelda game, which most people said was pretty accurate. And I stopped liking Zelda games after the Super Nintendo. So I was like, that doesn't really sell it for me, but I could see why people would like it then. And then I remember the second one looking pretty God of War-ish, which is like hack and slash mostly. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe. But I've never played any of them. But I did watch the trailer.
I played the first one. I did play like the definitive edition that they remastered of it. I didn't play that where they upped the graphics. It's pretty much just the same game, but just better graphics. The second one I haven't played, but I do own it. And I plan to play it probably before this next one comes out. I think it's not going to come out till next year, maybe.
2018. That's correct.
Yeah, but I did enjoy the first one, like from what I had played. It's definitely, I get it, because Zelda had like a lot of like puzzles and figuring out how to do things. It's very much like that. Like if you don't like puzzles and stuff, because some of the puzzles and that, you really got to sit down and think about the game mechanics and how it would work. Like some stuff I was like, all right, you know what, fuck it. I just went online and just saw what people did.
Not as straightforward or tedious as like Uncharted puzzles or Tomb Raider or whatever.
Yeah. They're not like, oh wow, that was like really different or whatever, but some of them are like you have to actually look around in the environment and really figure out
easy to miss the key thing or something. Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if part of that too was because like the graphics.
They're not like the Talos principle
last year. Yeah, not as in depth as that though.
That's pretty in depth, man. If they were anywhere near like that,
yeah, definitely not as complicated as that.
Okay,
but I don't know if it's because like it was playing it last year, so I don't know if like seeing the graphics and it wasn't as high end as some other stuff that I would normally play. That I wasn't really noticing certain things in the environment. As much, because you play games within that era that they were made, you're wowed by a lot of these stuff, so you see a lot more things as opposed to looking at like, there's some pixels over there, I'm just gonna look over here now, and so I think that might have been one of the issues for me, because I do like solving a few puzzles and stuff in games. And the second one definitely had a much stronger God of War.
It was more action oriented,
type feel to it, and I plan to install it and play it probably the next, like this week coming or whatever, since I've had it there for a while. I had it on I bought it on discount a long time ago and just never got around to that one.
Nice. Yeah, I don't really have any history. I've never played it. I've only seen some gameplay, and I didn't really, nothing committed to memory. I just kind of remember it's like a third person type of thing, and you go kill stuff. That's about all I know.
Nice.
Like one of these 4 horsemen, and it's not the same 4 horsemen in the apocalypse. I mean, you got like war and
famine, right? You got famine, I think.
No, famine is not. I don't think they do famine in this.
Really? Oh, in the new one? No, I meant in the old ones.
In this Dark Souls, famine is not
Darksiders.
one of the horse.
Darksiders.
Yeah, it's not one of the. What I said? Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I keep saying Dark Souls.
That franchise is over. All right.
Yeah. In Darksiders, they don't think they had famine as one. It was. I will go look it up here. Quickly,
Oh, okay. War, pestilence, maybe pestilence,
War.
famine,
Yeah,
Death.
look it up quickly.
death was the other one. But I don't think you played death. I think you fought death actually.
No, Death was the second one.
Oh, okay.
Darksiders 2 was Death. It was War, Death, and this one coming out is Fury, which is a female one.
Right. Yeah, I watched
As
the
you see
trailer.
in the
That you
trailer,
linked, that
and
you
she has
sent.
a cool looking whip stuff. So
You know,
it looks cool.
I think, and maybe this is just me just hating trailers and hating people hype training things, but my first thought at the very end of that, after that was cool, how she did that whip thing and tear off his head, is I just envisioned 300 people being like, oh my god, imagine what kind of cool ass things you can do with that whip in game. And I'm like, I bet you can't do that move in game. And that's what my thought was. And I was like,
My first thought was, she's got a whip? I was like, what? Just because she's a woman, she can't get an axe? What the hell? You know? Why a whip? Who gets a...
Triggered!
The only other person that got a whip is like Simon Belmont. You know? I was just like, it just seemed like such a weak weapon. Like, the other guy, like, why not an axe or a fucking cool big weapon? A whip. Get out of here.
Yeah.
I just...
Or
was
even,
like,
We don't know like if that's the only weapon she's gonna have, or it could be like a Tekken thing where they had a character that had a whip, but then the whip could turn into a sword. Like it would just solidify.
right. Well, I
how
think
the
they
lids
also
would come
did
through,
that in
Ivy.
Heavens.
Good looking lady.
Well, there was another
Right,
game,
so
kind of
it's-
like God of War, Heaven Sword.
Heaven
wasn't it?
Sword?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think she had a whip that turned into a sword. Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably wrong.
Right. So, but in Dark Souls is War, Death, Strife, and
Darksiders.
Fury.
You keep
fuck.
saying
So,
Dark
you know-
Souls.
Darksiders. And I'm
There's a whip in
interesting,
Dark
you know.
Souls.
It's interesting,
Because
Janice,
you know what the
brought
problem
up
is?
the
Is that
whip
I've been
thing.
watching you and
Yeah.
Volts play so much goddamn Dark Souls. That's just etched into my brain.
It's
All this
true.
shit is Dark Souls,
Brain.
Dark Souls.
I think the
And I
whip
don't
thing
even
is
play
interesting
Dark Souls. That's the thing. It's not even a game that I
Because-
enjoy watching people play it, but I don't play it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the whip thing is interesting because I totally see it the way that you interpret it, Janzer. But at the same time, I'm thinking about the name Fury and
Yeah.
something that would go along with it. And I think Fury is like really intense and like relentless.
You
and
know
I think
what
a whip reflects that pretty well.
You know what my thought was of Fury? Claws.
This is something small. I thought like daggers, but claws would be even better.
Claws is
Then
perfect, man.
Daggers, it
Yeah.
would be perfect. But
Or
yeah,
she could
something
have
that's
them
like
secondary or
very
something.
intense,
Like whip,
Yeah,
and
you know
then
what?
like when she
Anything
brings them in
that's
close,
fisty
fucking
type.
fist fuck
Like,
'em,
just-
yeah.
like in those scenes in movies where someone's on top of the other dude and they've already given up fighting, but they're just beating the shit
yeah.
out of them,
Yeah, claws are
like
intense.
past death.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Fury. That's Fury. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, she
You should
doesn't.
tell him to stop.
She shouldn't
it
be
and give
smooth.
her
She should
claws.
be rage filled. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Something that's very intimate and intense.
You know what? She has armor covering her entire body, so
I was
that's
surprised. She's got boob armor that doesn't not have a boob window, like a cleavage window.
Yep.
She actually has
cool.
like.
And her womb is protected as well.
That's true. Well, most of her power. That's why she's not raging, because she doesn't have that open. All of her power is it's being covered up. No womb power. Yeah. But yeah.
But yeah, they do have like comics that are related to the whole
Darksiders.
Darksiders franchise.
I was gonna help you.
And it does have a really interesting and compelling story.
Cool.
So
Do you
I don't know. I'm looking forward to
think-
seeing what they do. I've never been on a hype train. So
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that they actually continue, because the other thing about it is this game, I can't remember if THQ was the first people that developed it, but I know that they shut down, and there was people were kind of like disappointed that they shut down and they got bought over by the other people, and they were like, there's never going to be any continuation to it. It's kind of like how people feel like about Half-Life, where's the next Half-Life?
Right.
But then they did a definitive edition of it, and people were like, oh wait, does this mean that something's gonna happen? And then a year after that, no, Darksiders 3 has been announced. So it's kind of like, oh cool, somebody's carrying on the mantle. So I do like that as well too, and I want to see where they take it and go with it.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Like the trailer, it looked interesting. I guess maybe because I'm playing
gameplay.
Yeah, I watched the gameplay one, and then I watched the trailer. Yep. And it did look interesting. I just feel that I hope there's some more moves to that, because the whip can kind of like, I like if I'm gonna play with the weapon in a game, I have to like the move set, otherwise it gets boring, So even though I like whips,
from playing the first Darksiders, you did start off with one weapon, but then you got like you start off with like a sword, then you get a scythe, and then as your progression system, you got more and more moves. So I don't see them straying away from that. So I'm thinking that the whip is going to be like her main starting weapon, but she's going to have something else, and then she's going to gain more and more moves.
She'll have
and
two whips.
Yep, and the gameplay footage, could be.
Yeah,
but the gameplay footage also, to me, seemed like, all right, we're only going to show this kind of stuff.
It's true.
You could see that they were like, we're not showing our entire deck here.
They're doing
just
it right.
Like, give you, So that's what I expect. I expect that there's going to be a lot more to it, and they were only doing very basic, like combinations of moves.
Yep. Hey, the game is functional. It looks smooth, and here's some stuff about it.
I like how her hair just flows, like if she's underwater,
right?
Or like if it's fire.
Yep.
I thought that was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely looks good. I just don't think I have, since I haven't played the other ones and I don't understand the story at all, I don't feel like I have anything to like drag me into, since that's not like a primary genre that I play. But it did make me go, that looks cool. And sometimes that's enough to plant the seed. And then, then you keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I'm not really, I'm starting to think I'm not really that big on story in video games in general.
It is a recurring theme, that statements you have made since I've known you.
Well, I think because most of them suck,
I really like stories.
And I don't even know that it's the writing. No, it pretty much is. I don't want to be derogatory to the writers.
RPGs. Writing is not very good.
Look, JRPGs keep my interest because they're fucking insane, dude.
They really are. So maybe because of that, because I grew up with that shit, I have a really low
expectation
demand for what it is. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. But
this is a cohesive story. Holy shit! Well, like The Last of Us, I think, and you know what? Maybe the bar is so low that The Last of Us being like a kind of a simple story and not like anything outrageous was like, oh my god, this is amazing, And maybe you're right. Maybe we've just dealt with the shitty writing, and that's mean because people were putting time and effort in this stuff. But at the end of the day, there's lots of restrictions when it comes to gameplay as well. So it's not like they can just make a story.
Sometimes people like the cliche over the top. So I think it appeals still to has more its people. Place. I mean, sometimes I think all of us would agree that there's some certain, shows or movies or something that are complete trash objectively, but are amazingly entertaining and we love. And I think sometimes some games like that are really good to have. You're just like, this is stupid and this is garbage, but I'm really enjoying it.
I'm just going to say that soap operas still exist.
That's true.
And they're absolute trash, but some people think they're amazing.
Metal Gear story is garbage. But, it goes all over the place. It's just ridiculous soap opera garbage. It is.
Yeah, it's very soap opera. Oh, I wear a bathing suit because I breathe through my skin.
Right?
What? No.
No, but I'm still alive because we took the cells from so-and-so and we made another, and he's your clone. And that's actually a thing that happened. They took the cells of like the boss, I think, and then they cloned him, and then that's like, he's like the perfect soldier type or whatever. I forget how that is. Like Snake is kind of. I don't want to get into this. I really don't. It's convoluted and retarded, and I don't even know, and I don't even use that word. That's how bad it is that it made me say that word. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's why, like the developer for Nier Automata. Oh, why's she dressed like that? What is it? I like hot
Because I
looking
like
women.
big butts and I cannot lie.
I'm not gonna develop some
that.
bogus game story for this. No. I want her to look hot. End of discussion. Next question.
Well, it was actually the same thing for like, why does Quiet look the way she does? Because I want to see some cool cosplay. Meaning, let's see that skin, girl.
No.
He said
had
that.
A reason behind that. But he said
well,
that. But
he
they had
gave
a reason
another reason. Yes,
why she did that. It was something about breathing through her skin.
Right.
That's why I brought that up.
That was the whatever. But he also said in a tweet that because he really did that because he wanted to see cosplay of that. Look, some of the Japanese developers do not give a fuck about Western like ideas of sensibility or morality or any of that or being offended. They don't care.
I seen how they advertise products with women in just little skimpy bathing suits and stuff. It's like that's a car.
Oh yeah.
God,
I remember
Japan.
I remember a chocolate candy. It was called Choco Party. And I think that is on their YouTube, and I recommend you checking it out. Choco Party is good. They sold me on that. I still remember
God damn it. You say that, you know what I think of? I think of fucking chocobos.
It's not, unless chocobos are some really
just
big
because
boobies inside of a red.
Choco should be chocolate anything, but in my brain, it's fucking Final Fantasy related.
Chocobos do look like big-breasted chickens. I mean, remove some of those feathers, you never know what's going to happen.
They do have huge breasts, that's true.
Right, now someone's going to Rule 34 that right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just go look up Choco Party.
You've just made a lot of people very happy and some others very upset.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Bravo.
Yeah, I know. I'm a piece of garbage. Speaking of pieces of garbage and porn, did you know? A quick, because we're hitting the 2 hour mark. I do want to wrap things up because I know Graham's got shit to do, and if y'all want to bring something in that you have to, let's do that. But I want to kind of run through some stuff real quick. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. When that came out, it beat down. Did you hear about that?
That was 1 week ago.
I heard about it.
So YouPorn traffic went down by 52%, which is a lot more than when Zelda came out. Oh no. Oh yeah. So when it first came out, apparently on as the game's worldwide release began on Thursday, they saw a 41% dip in traffic. By Friday, it was down to 52%. By the end of the weekend, it was only down 30%, but that was still higher than when Zelda had come out, which was like 17%, I think, or something like that. And the things that they were looking for, I'm just going to read a few things off here. Cover your ears if you're sensitive to things in general, then go shoot yourself. Rosalina nude pics was high on the list. I don't even know who Rosalina is because I don't play Mario stuff. Princess Peach cartoon. You would think they would be really lewd. They're not. Princess Peach and Daisy, Bowser and Peach, of course, you gotta have that. And then, of course, Mario and Luigi. And then the last term was Zelda cosplay. So you would think they would be really like, but no, they were just simple things. People, we have simple needs for our porn.
I don't actually know 100%, but I want to say that first one you said, whatever that name was, I think it's
Rosalina.
I think it's the one that looks like Peach, but is different, like different hair color and different dress.
I gotcha.
I think.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I'm just going to Google it here now. Rosalina Amiibo.
Just be careful.
She does look like Princess Peach.
Awesome.
Yeah. No.
Remedy Entertainment. Go ahead.
No, I said I'm not going to Google Rosalina porn, blah, blah, no. I just go Rosalina and I said Amiibo.
Everybody should do, if you're going to go Google any type of whatever porn, cartoon, game things, start mixing your genres. Do like
oh yeah, there you go.
Like some Overwatch characters and some Mario characters.
There you go. Yeah, let's see what Bowser and Diva go.
There you go.
Real quick, Remedy Entertainment, known for Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Quantum Break. So that's a history right there of games. It gives you a good idea. They're going to be backed by publisher 505 Games, and they're working on a new project called Project 7. So clearly they don't have a fucking name for it yet. But it's going to be another style of game. They have a very specific thing they do. Third-person, story-driven type gameplay. That was Max Payne, that was Alan Wake, and that was Quantum Break. So if you like those games, there's going to be another one from Remedy Entertainment, same developer that did that before. They just now have a publisher to push them along. I don't give a shit about this Steam one. I'm going to delete that. Did you know Oculus is closing an internal development studio called Story Studio? And they're not going to have a booth at E3 this year. So Oculus is the people that, who was that?
Is that because
one?
of that lawsuit?
Yeah, Lucky Palmer, I believe is who it was, I think.
Yeah.
Who eventually left, and they're now closing down the studio, and they're now not going to be at E3. This is a Facebook-backed thing. So I think they've really, after having to lose all that money, maybe they're like, let's just scale this shit back a bit.
Yeah,
you know?
it was with ZeniMax that they had that dispute.
Yeah. So I read some article where they're like, oh, they're not going to be at E3, but it doesn't really matter because, shut up. I'm trying to cover for them. But
it doesn't help, too, that the PlayStation VR just dominated the market.
Oh,
so
yeah. Wasn't there a recent discount on it, too?
I don't know about discount on it, but I
saw something where it was really cheap if you did something, I don't know, satanic ritual, who knows. But I did see an article, I swear, that said it was really cheap.
Mario Kart porn.
I just know that after Christmas, they were like, oh, shit, we didn't make enough of these things because they didn't think they was going to sell.
Oh, God.
But it sold way more than they anticipated. And and every other VR headset is suffering. Yeah. Was suffering at that point in time, but they were dominant. And it's easy to see, you already own a PlayStation, buy the VR headset, and you're good to go. And you don't have to go buy a brand new PC or upgrade your PC.
And not only that, but we did bring this up in the
whatever.
podcast too. And one of the points I made during that was it's Sony. They know how to make home entertainment equipment.
Yep.
They're worlds beyond what, one of the biggest problems
and they know
with
to make things
all the other ones
too.
is they sucked when people put them on. They hurt their head. They had shitty earphones, all kinds of garbage. This is Sony. They know they've been making shit since before a lot of gamers were born. So,
yeah, it's true.
Yep. But Overwatch is now apparently $1 billion franchise.
Yep, I actually had that too, and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't hurt that Blizzard has 41 million active users across all their games. So it's easy for Overwatch.
That's up from the 30 million I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that it's ridiculous. They're growing
People
at
love that game.
Ridiculous speeds. Did you see the thing about how they had to disclose to China the exact drop rates for
loot crate
Overwatch?
things? Yeah, I did. I came across that just earlier today.
Yeah. So I've got those numbers. And I don't know that any of us in B3 play it that I'm aware of. I think maybe Kev, that guy, Kev Factor. There you go. He plays it. Mm-hmm. But the numbers are something like rare quality stuff is it's gonna each loot box is gonna have at least one rare or higher quality item. Epic quality 2%. Is gonna be 5.5. Every 5.5 loot boxes, it's there's an epic quality item, so it's 18%. And then legendary is the first one was each loot contains 4 items, blah blah blah. Each loot 1 and 4, I think is what the rare was. No. It says each loot box contains at least one rare or higher quality item. So that's 100%. That's going to happen every time. Rare, you're always going to get rare. Epic is the one that's 18%. Legendary is 7.4%. Yeah. So one in every 13.5 boxes, apparently, you get a legendary item.
Yeah, those numbers really aren't too bad. I just know that within that system, you get duplicates a lot. And from my experience in Mass Effect 3, where you could get duplicates as well, if you're looking for something that's really rare and you want that thing that's different you don't have, and you can get duplicates, you're just and then it becomes a ridiculous grind fest at the end. So,
the way they stated it was it could either be that item or a cash type value item for that level.
Yeah. If you get the duplicate, it turns into cash, I think, for you.
Yeah, it does. Turns into cash, and then eventually, if you accumulate enough of that cash, then you can actually buy that particular thing that you wanted to get. Though, usually from
I
people
think
that play it, what happens is that they get all the cash.
Yeah.
Then they finally buy the skin that they want, that rare, ultra rare skin that they want, and then one of the next few drops is that same skin. So then that just gets transferred into.
Well, it's like the same thing. ESO crates, right, Graham?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What?
It's the same thing like ESO crates. I remember I watched some chicks, some streamer.
Exactly like
she did a video on like, you calculate all this. She did all the math behind it. She's like, all you have to do is buy this many boxes. You're absolutely going to get as much. You're either going to get the item, or by that point, you're going to get enough cash based on selling those items back to get the gems for it. Yeah. I love that kind of shit. Like when people are smart like that about it. Yeah.
You are guaranteed to get this.
That's
if you spend this much, because you'll by default at the minimum get this junk to add up to that many.
The downside, it was something like $100.
Right, yeah.
For a pony.
But that's exactly what
but it's a cool pony.
People like Blizzard or any of them or CSGO pretty much bank on is like,
look,
we know that you can get it through this process, but you gotta spend this amount. So it's like they're gonna make money. They do it to make money. That's what it's all about. So
you bastards.
Yeah.
Fuck this Destiny 2 article because it had nothing in it.
Tell me about your
I know. I'll get to it in a minute. I don't want to like ruin the I want to run through these real quick. People got outraged about Diva Cop outfit. I don't give a fuck. NBA Playgrounds is coming out May 9th for PS4, Xbox, Switch, PC. I talked about it before. It's like NBA Jam. It's just a really fun, it's kind of like a Rocket League. Imagine it like that, but with people and a basketball.
Yeah. And I think one of these, I was looking up some stuff on that as well too, and they were saying that
$20.
You might have to buy additional players. Like,
oh shit!
And it's not, but
that's
the
why
reason
it's so
that you have to buy. Yeah, they say it's cheap because they get all those players that you could just do it and they can sell it cheap. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that where you got players like Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Right. Those people are, those names and their identities are, a product in itself. So to actually use that, you have to pay a huge amount of money. Mm-hmm. So I think the only way they could work around it was like, well, we got to pay these people. So we'll make it like a DLC where you buy the character and that way they can still pay the people.
But you
still get
that.
the game cheap. Oh. Yeah.
All right. Well,
that reminds me of some
think
other
those characters can do anything different than other characters. They probably just have different.
But you
stats,
get them.
so.
That's the whole point of getting them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember there was some game. It was like a pinball game or something where the game itself was even free, but you had to buy something and like all the characters or something. Something like that. And so, like, the game itself was free, but in order to actually, like, really experience it, you had to buy it. I think another game did that with characters.
Okay.
Where you got the game, but you had to buy the characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've heard things like that before.
Like Killer Instinct does that, where they'll have characters that it comes with. Even Street Fighter, you have characters that comes with it, but then you have to buy DLC. You have to buy other characters you can either buy them or try to unlock them through getting, like, ranking matches or something like that, from what I remember. Yeah,
I think I've heard of some systems where you can only buy them though. But yes, I've heard of things like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this basketball one, I think you can only buy them though. Again, you gotta pay for the rights to use that stuff. So
I can kind of understand because it's another brand, and that shit is expensive. That's why Madden had such a lock on fucking football for the longest time. That I think it still does, because they can afford it.
Yeah, exactly.
He could afford it, so he was like, "All right, keep the likenesses in there, great." Or NBA 2017,
Karkley. I don't want that player.
Nobody wants to play with Gary Lurd. Yeah, it's just not.
Mikhail Jamin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect.
If I can create that character and make them my own, then sure.
And I knew people that would do that for football characters. They would set their stats specifically to like a season, like stats or whatever. And I knew a guy that would do that on the computer. It was a shitty football game, and he loved the crap out of it. And I was like, "You're just a fucking nerd, and you don't even want to know what you are." Yeah. No, I love sports. You fucking nerd. You're a sports nerd. It's my best friend. He never listens to this, but I'm going to tell him about it. And he'll be like, yeah, that's right. Long Dark, real quick, launch August 1st. Apparently, it's going to come with a narrative. The Long Dark Count had brought up, like on the podcast a long time ago. I like the look of it, survival kind of thing, really interesting.
Clown person.
Yes, the clown face person. Yes,
That's how I identify the game. Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. But it's going to have a story mode when it comes out, and it's going to be episodic. It's going to be a 5-part episodic thing. But it's
interesting.
Wintermute is what the story mode's going to be called. And August 1st, apparently it's going to be coming out on, I think, consoles as well. So, meaning PS4, Xbone, I don't know about the Switch, though. Gears of War movie is being produced by Universal Studios. I have no other information. There's no director listed. That's about it.
Yeah, they don't have any details on that yet, but they just said, yep, it's on the table now.
Yeah. I'm going to delete this thing about deflating Pikachu, but it's fucking hilarious. Just go look up deflating Pikachu.
Oh my God. I watched that.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
It's so fucking good. And then the last thing I have is like 7 top selling game franchises in history that I thought really interesting. I've got a list of them, but I'm sure you could guess a bunch of them. But I don't think we have time for that, so I'm just going to list them, all right? Number 1, Mario.
Right.
Fucking Mario, of course. Number 2, I did not figure, but Tetris.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense, but I would have never thought of it either.
It does make a lot of sense.
The guy that created that is Russian, and he gets no money from it. Go on.
Oh, Witcher 3 author. Yeah, all right. Him and that guy are like, fuck video games, they suck. The next Pokemon.
No, that guy is actually not pissed
Not bitter
about it.
All right.
No.
Fair enough.
Russia, communism, he didn't really have much choice. But yeah, go ahead.
Maybe they send someone over each night to give him an HJ. All right. Pokemon, that doesn't make any, okay, Pokemon should be on that list, I think. I think everybody knows how big that franchise is. Call of Duty. Number 5.
Yeah, I expect that.
That doesn't surprise me as much with more recent years.
Yeah, as much as people bitch about the game always does well, and people still play it. So there you go. Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me either.
Especially,
I know that you're not a big Rockstar fan.
Oh no, I don't like what they did with 5, but I played 1 and 2, and I watched like 3 and San Andreas or whatever.
2 was my first. I never played 1, but I love all of them.
Yeah. No, I just hate the fact that
3.
they didn't want to release it onto PC first, so I say fuck you. But yeah, let's see. Number 6 is The Sims, which doesn't surprise me at all. I've known people that played the shit out of that game. Yeah. The last one
is Vice City, though.
Vice City. People love that game.
It's cheesy
the
80s
soundtrack.
Just just make fun of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The last one, very surprising to me. Need for Speed.
I'm not thinking
surprised.
on that. That's interesting.
I wouldn't have thought of
Need
that.
for Speed that's
Hard
multi-platform, correct?
Yeah, it probably is. But I also know they had like arcade machines.
Because I was thinking of some of the other card games that I would initially would have thought like people like more, but those other ones are like exclusives to
exclusive, like
things.
Gran Turismo, and those are
Forza or whatever.
Yeah,
So
well, Forza is very new.
that makes sense.
Need for Speed's been out since like the
Speed was
90s
on
for
everything.
sure. Oh yeah, but not like Zelda. It just. But then again, that was a single platform. So was Mario. And then Tetris really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we go through it by genre? We got platformer, then we got
puzzle.
and
Tetris is puzzle. Pokemon is like, I guess you would call that collection. I don't know what that is called because that's fighting / collection.
There's a ton. There's so many genres actually within Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess it's more exploration / collection. But it is like even Monster Hunter is you're collecting the boss technically, like in the sense that you wanna go and catch that boss and murder it.
There's like action, adventure, the battle like simulation, like arena fighting,
battle,
whatever.
Call of
a
Duty.
bunch of stuff. It's kind of a blend of a lot of things.
Well, Call of Duty is definitely first-person shooter.
First-person shooter, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is a lot of things as well, but technically it's about murdering.
Action, game.
Third person.
Yeah.
Murder.
The Sims is what The Sims is.
That's
micromanagement,
simulation, building, sandbox thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate lifestyle. Yeah. as well.
Yeah.
You're living the Sims peoples, or making them get closed up in rooms and die. Need for Speed. Well, that's racing.
And that's a racing. So we got kind of, they're almost like separate
spread.
genres for the most part.
Yeah, it's a pretty big
So
spread.
that's probably why. It's interesting.
Grand Theft Auto open world for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. If it wasn't,
I usually say open world, action adventure.
Gotcha.
Kind of thing, but definitely open world defined.
5 has really pushed it, but I mean, there's so much in 5, but yeah.
Yeah. Touch on 2 other
Please
topics before we go too quickly. The same players, Unknown Battlegrounds, still doing very well. Sold 2 million copies now. And it's still in early access on Steam. So that's doing really, really well. They keep pumping up fixes and
I'm still not going to play it.
Additions to the game. Yeah, I don't play. Not for me again, but
suck it, Overwatch. They're coming for your ass,
right?
In like 4 years.
Well, and then Praey launched this week,
right?
All the platforms and like what was it? Dishonored 2, because it's by the same Arcane Studios. It has nobody's reporting any bugs or issues or crashes or stuff like that. So it's got a lot of positive reviews.
Yeah,
of course, on Steam as well. But when you look at the ones on Steam, it's people that most people there have played only less than 10 hours of it. So
I've read a lot of that.
I don't think it's a good gate. Again, I don't look at Steam for reviews.
Right.
Like if you're gonna buy something anyway.
Well, the news articles I read also said, like, one guy was like, I've played 4 to 5 hours, and I'm like, 4 to 5. That's not enough for a review.
No. But I've been watching people play on Twitch, and it's not my kind of game. It looks kind of slow paced, boring, kind of like a slow paced version of BioShock, but boring.
Right.
But that is because it's boring to me. I don't think the game actually is boring. It looks interesting, but you have to be into that, lore and investigating and.
Somebody called it a door opening simulator. Because everything is about finding a key and opening a door. Find another door. Where's the door? Go to the door.
Backtracking to go find this thing.
I was like, okay, it's not that bad. But I think what it is it doesn't have any one. They're trying to do this whole thing with Grand Theft Auto. Not necessarily them, but they stuff a lot of what is possible. So there's no real focus. I know somebody said it's like a stealth game as well. It could be, So, yeah, I think it just doesn't have any real strong focus is maybe what it is. Someone else was like, it's a horror game because anything could jump out at you,
Yeah, it does have that kind of horror thing because how you have the mimic chest in Dark Souls, like a cup or a chair or something, you just go and move it and it just turns into one of those little shadowy looking figures.
Yep. Yeah. I've seen comparisons to the feel of Dead Space. Yep. Yeah.
One Steam review that I thought was really freaking hilarious. Again, I got those people that just put stupid views on stuff. So the guy said, my girlfriend asked why I carry a gun around the house. I looked her dead in the eye and said, the motherfucking mimics. She laughed. I laughed. The coffee mug laughed. I shot the coffee mug. It was a good time. I'm like,
that is awesome.
This deserves a thumbs up.
That was awesome.
But mind you, that person also has 11.7 hours, so they actually got more than 10 hours in the game. So I can't argue with that review.
Yeah.
The coffee mug laugh.
I know. All right, that's perfect pacing there. Yeah. Oh man. Two positive reviews then, I would say.
Yeah. So it looks good for Praey.
I'm gonna put positive reviews and mixed feelings.
Yeah. But I want a game to do well because they didn't have a good go at the beginning with Dishonored 2. So it's nice that they come back and they promise, look, it's going to be good. So I want studios to make good games, because I'm tired of PC games getting the the last bit of love when it comes to putting out games, and they always have bugs and issues. When a lot of games are, not even a lot. I think developer came up recently and said that most games, if not all games, are actually started on a PC.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're, developed for the platforms that they're coming out on.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that fear of having no demo for the PC was just like, oh, God, not again. That kind of thing, Where we've only seen the no demo thing turn into like, it's because the game fucking sucks on PC. And they don't want us to know how bad off it is, It's like, no, don't cancel your pre-orders. But no, that's good. That's good that it's actually, doing well and it's functional and all that good stuff, Not crash into desktop or whatever. So... Because even Doom had its fucking technical issues, Even though it was a success after the fact, it still didn't hide the fact that it was fucking broken as shit, like when it first came out. Music, the audio was all fucked up. I kept crashing with the damn thing. Now it's totally fine. I don't have any issue with it, but they worked on their asses off to get it patched up. And they did it really quickly because, how the internet is, they could have turned on them in a heartbeat. So they did it real quick. So, but that was id, whatever.
Yeah, that's all my stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to know about your Destiny 2 beta experience.
Right. Okay. So, a while back, I commented about how, and I got a video up too about Destiny 2 pre-order, and I had an email earlier today that said, hello, and hope you're enjoying your day, because I had submitted to the website, GameStop's website, the fact that I never received my beta code. This was back in fucking, I don't even know anymore. I responded to them saying, look, this is what this is, all right? Now, to be fair to GameStop, they did give me a code way back. This is more of you remember that whole thing about GameStop going out of business? There's probably a reason why. Apparently back on April 7th, they responded to me, gave me a code. And I had let people, I think, in the community know and whatever. But I just got this email saying, I hope you're enjoying your day. I would love to take care of this matter for you. It was me saying, hey, I didn't get my code because I hadn't at that time. And it was like, I don't know, a week or whatever. They were supposed to give it in like 2 days or something. And then said, after carefully reviewing your account details, I want to inform you that unfortunately our beta code server was closed the last week. Of this moment, I'm reading it word for word. They did say of this moment. We do not have more backup codes for this particular game. Thank you for contacting GameStop Guest Care, and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reply to this email, which I did, and I never got a response back. Actually, that's not true. I got an automated response back. My response to them was like, guys, you took care of this on April 7th. But I thought it was nice to go ahead and just let everybody know this is how this was being handled, apparently. It goes back to
so
what
far
I said.
In the future, by the way, just so you know, even though you sent us a thing a long ass time ago, this is no longer a thing because it closed last week.
It doesn't make any sense why they would send me this email, is what I'm getting at.
Especially considering they already did it.
Right. They don't even know that they sent but after carefully reviewing your account details,
which means they didn't
fucking at all.
Let alone,
and that's why it goes back to my video where I rant about not necessarily about the cost or anything, but more how everything was haphazardly handled. And if you're going to put out a product that you want a lot of money for, $100 for a fucking video game is a lot of money. It's ridiculous amounts of money. That's too much money, okay? Crazy people do that. I did it. I'm crazy, all right? So my point was, this is sloppy as fuck. And this is one of the reasons why GameStop's going down, is because they can't handle their own goddamn business, If you can't, it took them a while. By the way, April 7th, I forgot when I actually ordered it, but it took them a while. I said maybe like 7 days to get back to me. It was longer than that, now that I remember. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And if that, imagine if I didn't get that code, that's how they were going to handle it. How about people that maybe that's how they actually did handle it? I just,
there's some people that probably that's the only response they got.
Probably.
Some people might not have taken the steps that you took. and that's what they're going to deal with.
And you shouldn't have to go to that level, you know? Like, to me, I don't like going there. My like outrage is about things like people trying to keep my deposit for a place that I moved into, you know, or I moved out of, that kind of thing, you know? Like things that I think are appropriate, not for a video game that I spent a stupid amount of money on. That's ridiculous, you know? If that Bungie's a big enough company, GameStop's a big enough. My whole point was there are big enough companies that they should have had things done correctly. I'm a web developer. If I handed over a website, a product that was not properly finished, blah, 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 I'd get my fucking ass chewed out for it. There's no way that would happen. There's none. And I operate at a level that is not Bungie or GameStop. You know? How is that acceptable? It's not. That's what I'm getting down to. With that much money, it's unacceptable, you know? And that's why I brought up during that other time, too, was like, apparently the guy in the store, he was going to handle it by saying, just come in, bring your receipt, and I'll just sell you a copy here, but then refund it, but you'll have the code for free. And I'm like, what? Whoa. And so this goes to my point here. They said they shut down their beta code thing, whatever, last week. So maybe people got codes that weren't supposed to. You see, maybe there were a limited amount. And this was my conscientious fear that I had of taking somebody else's. I could have been a fucking dickwad because I wanted it that day, but I wanted it to be done properly, you know? Look, guys, all I'm saying is it's not worth walking the path of righteousness in this world.
Hey, in some just, you know, just in kind of news.
Yeah.
V3. Just one last little thing. Apparently, Black Desert Online is coming to Steam.
Oh,
this news is brought to us by Count Chocula. I just read one of his tweets.
Oh, rock!
He posted like an hour ago.
Okay.
Thanks, Count Chocula, for that. But if you played it like how Count Chocula played it, you know, on their standalone, none of that
maid's
stuff,
dress, in his French maid dress.
Yes, yeah, that character and all that stuff that he's done is not transferable to the Steam version.
That happens a lot.
And I'm interested to see if I will be able to play it because it's not available for me to play in my region. So,
well, is it free to play?
I don't think so. I think there was like a little small base price.
I want to say that it is free to play.
Oh, sure.
Just because of some of the people that I know that play it, they don't seem like the pay-to-play type. But I don't actually know that.
Black Desert
I'm
Online,
sure they
right?
had a sale for it. Yeah, I can't see it because it's not available in my region. So anytime I click, they say, "Oh, sorry, not available."
I think I'm under the impression that it's like an ESO format where it's purchased to play, but I'm not 100%.
I know it was purchased to play for sure, at least at one point. I know that for sure.
Available May 24th, apparently. I'm looking at it on Steam right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'd have to go to their site to see if there's a regular price as opposed to free to play.
I just remember hearing from some people that it's just grindy as hell. And I'm like, well, that's MMOs. So it's hard for me to tell. When people say that kind of thing about an MMO, I'm like, have you never played one before? You know?
I only wanted to play it because like the graphics look really cool, you know, and you know we like graphics.
Yeah.
And the combat system seemed pretty kind of unique for it had a kind of hack and slash kind of combat system.
Right. It looks neat. I've seen some of it.
So honestly, I'd be extremely casual playing that, and I would just play it just to see what it's like, and then even if I don't continue playing it for long, I just wanted to see.
Yeah, I'll definitely, if it's free to play, I'll definitely check it out. Yep. So, all right.
I keep my eye on that.
Well, I think we've done a podcast, unless there's something else that's itching to get out of your mouths.
Nope.
You didn't text me to say something just random and stupid, but I actually held some self-control, so no, I'm good.
Well, I held self-control for myself, like making the theme of Skyrim, and I really wanted to do it, but in like a
Have you ever heard the Peter Dinklage version of Game of Thrones opening?
Exactly.
Peter Dinklage over there. I love that. So good.
So that's why I stopped myself, and then I just did it anyways because I couldn't anymore. I couldn't stop myself. Your admission of restraint broke my restraint.
Yes.
Because it just kept playing the entire time that Phil was talking about Black Desert. I just kept thinking, my brain is broken.
That's an H3 cast right there.
Yeah.
Horny health and history.
It's true.
That last part does sound horny though.
Does it? I just it's more like
it's
sounds like
rhythmic
horny
breathing, so it's healthy, and
More
somebody's definitely getting horny, and now we have a history
beatboxing / the Fat Boys or something. I don't know, but definitely weird. All right, let's get out of here. We will see y'all next time. Remember, share the podcast with somebody that's a gamer, or somebody you know that likes video games, or somebody you that know that maybe they have a long drive to work and they want to hear some stupidity that takes them out of their life. That's the whole point behind B3. All right, we're out of here.
Later.
Adios.
Oh, guys, we never said who we are. I know I said Janzer, but we have Graham.
I'm Graham.
Hey, you're Graham. Okay, I thought I was Graham.
And we have that asshole Philemon, because I can't call him Mr.
Oh,
Look, man, you asked for it, okay?
Hey, I'm glad I'm Graham. That's all I'm saying right now.
You're Graham?
I'd hate to be Philemon.
Oh, God.
I'm Graham. I don't know.
I'm Phil.
I'm stopping it now.
Wait, hang on. That don't sound like that. What the fuck?
Stopping the stream.